All right, hello and welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are playing One Ring, second edition tonight. We are continuing our Waking of Angmar campaign. We are reuniting two lost dwarven brothers. They've been apart from each other for some time. It's going to be a wonderful welcome homecoming. Stephen has been given a week to think of something clever and interesting to say to his brother on their reuniting, and he forgot to do that homework. So
I did try, but I'm just not clever.
As Yoda once said, do or do not. There is no try. Which honestly doesn't seem right. I feel like that's probably a really bad lesson.
Yoda was a boomer. You can't trust his advice.
I think that's like, do or do not, there's no try. That's a really bad life lesson, actually. Far be it for me to criticize him. But he did kind of, oversee the destruction of the Jedi. So it was kind of, I don't know. What are we talking about? How do we get on this? I don't even really know.
He still thinks a soda pop costs 5 cents.
Long has no idea what I'm talking about because I don't think Long has ever seen any Star Wars. Is that accurate, Long?
I've seen a couple, but that's when I was younger.
Okay.
And isn't Yoda a baby?
Yoda.
You're talking about Grogu, okay?
Dang it.
That was so perfect.
Oh my god. Anyhow, jeez. Anyway, we're back. We're playing One Ring. We got a lot of free league games in the channel now. It's very exciting. We love our free league games. So we're going to continue this is episode 44, which is amazing. And I was looking at everything earlier today. I was saying this to Steven, who was this? I think it was Steven. But 26 was the last episode. 26 is when we actually met and last saw Snagit. We've heard about it here or there, but Snagit was, if you recall, back in episode 26, you all were traveling to the halls of Harmelt. We hadn't. So some interesting facts about that is that we didn't realize that Erebon's real name was Sorendir yet. Floyd didn't have his crazy outburst in the forests west of the Blue Mountains. You hadn't met the elves of Forlon. The person who Lady Ortolos, who's your current patron, you hadn't even met yet. All these things hadn't happened. That was the last time we saw Snagit. You were with Balin. You were traveling to Harmelt, and he robbed you of Balin's wagon. So those are all the things that happened. It's amazing how in 17 episodes, a lot has kind of happened, I think, right?
A surprising amount. Yeah, it was dense.
Yeah. So, and now we're back. We get to see him once more and see him in, now this time it's not just him, but it's his crew. And so we'll talk about that in a sec. But before we dive too far in, why don't we do a quick intro? Let's make these quick. Just say who you are, what you're playing, anything interesting, and then we'll go. We'll get into it. So, Long, tell us about Floy real fast.
Yeah, Floy, treasure hunting, dragon sickness is a shadow path. He's a nice young adventurer. I believe he's a red beard. And
you believe he has what? I mean, you get to dictate the rules here in terms of his beard color.
It's probably changed throughout the campaign a bunch of times.
Constantly dyeing it. Yeah. Okay. All right. I like that. And you're wounded. We were talking about that ahead of time too. For a couple days.
Yeah, that should be all right. It'll heal nicely.
Maybe. You could go down quicker though. You take one wound, you go down though, as opposed to just saying.
That's true.
Getting a little fight.
I haven't taken 2 wounds yet, so I don't know about that.
Is it possible Floyd doesn't go into forward stance for once if we go into combat because of this? I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out.
Next up, Ashley, tell us a little about Gilly.
I'm playing Gilly Kettlegrass. I am our Bree Hobbit. She has the Pearl of Celebrion that she used. However, I think
it's Celebrion.
Celebrion.
I put pronunciation guides in there, and it's not.
I know. I'm trying to open it, and it wasn't
mostly
going.
For me.
So.
Yeah.
But anyways, she has her torrid book of sketches that has a lot of boudoir sketches in there, and then also some really horrific things that we've seen along the way. So it's kind of weird when you're flipping through it. She doesn't let anybody just look in it on their own.
It's such a roller coaster going from page to page.
One moment she's depressed, talking about her feelings. The next, there's hot dwarves. So
it's really, I don't know. Should we be worried about Gilly? I think we should. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think she's found a coping skill that works for her. She does
weren't you talking about the tendon bookmark before?
Oh yeah.
We were talking about how like in the early days at one point Gilly made a tendon bookmark. And then I was like, that really wasn't like a Gilly thing. That was like Ashley's creepy and kind of gross sometimes. And that just kind of weaved its way in.
Yeah. I still remember that one character in D&D when we played that years ago when we first got like into role-playing games, really.
Yes.
And you were like collecting fingers or something like that.
I had like fingers and ears, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes.
No,
all right. Well, while Ashley's doing that, why don't we have Auriniel? So Melissa, go ahead and tell us about Auriniel.
Auriniel is our ranger. Where she's at on her shadow path is currently spiteful. So that comes up from time to time. As I put in chat, she's it's been interesting having a new dwarf in the party who didn't go to Angmar and doesn't quite have that angsty perspective on things after we're all in that we've seen some shit man kind of place, and he just kind of rolls up being Daggett.
She doesn't like you, I don't think. I think that's what this is.
She never did. It's okay.
No, chat. Auriniel does not take fatigue points while journeying, I should say. And she is currently in possession of a new sword.
That's true.
Last episode.
That's very true. It's very true. I will tell you. I mean, I'll tell you now. That is an item that during whenever we get to our next downtime phase or next fellowship phase, if you take that, I can't remember the name of the specific undertaking, but if you do that, you would actually have a
study magic items,
a famous weapon here, which is pretty interesting. Yeah. And then finally, we've got our newest member of the squad, the one that apparently Melissa does not like. So, Steven, tell us about
words
Daggett.
in my mouth.
Nope. You said it.
Hey, I'm Daggett. I'm the most lovable, friendly, trustworthy dwarf you'll ever meet. And while I may not come from a rich, noble dwarf clan, I can still swing a hammer and put back the ale like a dwarf should do.
Nice. Okay, so why don't we dive in? So we're currently in the middle of an adventuring phase. We've been at this for a couple different episodes now. You can see on the map we're on the very northern peak, the last final slopes of the Blue Mountains. If you're looking at this, if you're checking this out on YouTube or whatever it might be, you can see just off to the east there is the Ice Bay of Foroshell. So I wanted to make sure everyone can see that. I'm referencing some things here and there. And where that little red marker is effectively where these dwarf mines have been. So you all are in these old dwarf mines. You're buried within this northern stretch of the Blue Mountains. You're searching. You have been searching for Snagit and his Oathbreakers, primarily because they are rumored to have robbed the vaults of Cragstone Hall, and within that is I think it's Kobor's Cleaver, which is something that would be useful against the undead. And so kind of you're sort of doing a service to the dwarves by kind of hunting down this Oathbreaker, but also hopefully recovering something that might be useful to you in your fight against the creatures of Angmar and the failed task of Othrungul. And within the mines, in these unfinished halls, you've encountered some evil men, some creatures, etc. You also found Lottie's hill folk, specifically these ancestors of Rudour, the kingdom that kind of turned in northern Eriador. They were tomb robbing. They were kind of continuing their charge that you've learned about in the past, about kind of finding and looting these artifacts or powerful items of old from these kingdoms of Arthedain or of Cardolan, etc. You dispatched a group of these hill folk that were desecrating a series of dwarven ossuaries, and then you saw this horrific bear-like beast drag away one of the fleeing hill folk. Now, there was a moment where some of you forgot some semblance of decency and goodness, as only Gilly noticed that these hill folk, some of them, were actually still alive in the process of dying. A few of you just kind of left them there to suffer, but Gilly bent down, kind of gave them merciful deaths. Deeper in the tunnels, you stumbled across a member of the Lasoth, or the Snow People of Forest Shell, excuse me. She explained how her and her party had ventured across the Ice Bay to kind of hunt some of the northern forests of these lone lands. And during springtime, which we are in, she introduced herself as Helvi, and she explained how these she had an encounter with these hill folk, which kind of scattered her party, and then apparently there's these snow whites that kind of rose up and kind of killed some of those who strayed. So you struck a deal with Helvi that you would help her recover some of some of the loss that were captured by the hill folk, and in return she would show you where she saw those dwarves, because she did in fact see those Oathbreakers. While you started to explore, Gilly Daggett, you found the lair of the beast that had dragged away the hill folk. And if you recall, the beast had a visage that was like mostly feral bear, but kind of mixed in with this painful-looking, almost human-like visage. And you remember it from the carvings of Merothel in Forlond, and also from the crevice up by Othringol in the mountains of Angmar. So Daggett actually braved enough to go inside. You guys saw piles of bones, carcasses. There were people, there were deer, there were bears, all kind of destroyed by this creature. But there also were treasures and some riches that were kind of mixed in with those bones. And you saw a strange light coming down from an opening in the ceiling, but eventually you retreated. You didn't want to kind of poke that creature while it slept. After some time, you found an encampment of hillfolk, and you found those bound Losseth. And there you had decided you wanted to set a trap. You kind of lured a portion of the hillfolk away. You slaughtered them, but you did take some wounds back, in fact. And hillfolk reinforcements were coming. You all started fleeing down the halls. Gilly, you found this small seam at the base of a rock wall, and all of you kind of slid down it to hide. And there you discovered a hidden room, actually, a nearly empty, save for these like pillars and columns along the walls, and a rocky cairn built right in the center of the room. The only entrance had been caved in, if you recall. And also protruding from that cairn, there was a blade, the one that Melissa had mentioned prior, and it kind of bears on the pommel the kind of familiar stars of Arthedain. You agreed to kind of rest and recuperate, but during the night, Helvi, she snuck away. And Arenial, during your watch, you had a strange encounter. Maybe it was a dream, maybe it really happened, but you observed a man or a spirit rise up from the cairn and just sort of walk off and disappear into the kind of collapsed entrance. In the morning, as you were kind of eating, breaking your fast, you heard the sounds of rocks falling and sliding, and then the cave-in that kind of was blocking your way suddenly flattened, and there was a group of dwarves, Snagit leading that party, who looked over, saw his brother with some bit of confusion, and said, "What are you doing here?" And that's pretty much we'll go ahead and pick up. So, Daggett, your brother, staring at you. He kind of he's looking at you. He's got all these people. You recognize some of the faces behind, and he's kind of staring at you like, "What are you doing here?"
Daggett opens his mouth to say something, and nothing comes out. He just kind of sets down his hammer, his mattock, and goes to give Snagit a hug.
Snagit, in a little bit of a stunned kind of uncertainty, see you come up, and he instinctively just does "Hey, brother, okay, it's good to see you." And then his eyes kind of look over your shoulder, and they settle in on the three of you that are standing behind Daggett. Eyes go wide a bit, and he kind of sort of pushes you off slightly into the side, and he's like, "Well, hey there, cousin," as he looks over at Floy.
It's been a while.
Hobbit? Human? Where's that comedic elf of yours? One who cracked all the jokes.
Don't ask about the elf. They get upset about that. Snagit, I'm glad you're well, brother.
Well enough as it is, yeah. What? Don't tell me you're coming up here looking for me, are you?
No, I was looking for mushrooms. Of course I'm looking for you.
Mushrooms. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, he makes a lot of jokes. None of them are quite good. You're not trying to bring me back, I hope.
That's exactly why we're here. Why I'm here.
No, cousin, I don't think that's going to be happening now.
And you
Snag
see
it, we need the
behind,
axe.
there's a bunch of dwarfs that suddenly start popping up. You recognize a few of them, Daggett. Like, you see some faces. Like, there's Mott and Matt. There's Rollin and Hanlair. Like, you see people you recognize here and there. Some of them kind of like, hey there, Daggett. What are you? They're kind of greeting you as well. The rest of you probably don't know them. Maybe Floy, you recognize a face or two. But he says,
The axe? Hey, what axe are you talking about?
One from the vault.
Ovar's cleaver.
The cleaver. Yeah, it's a mighty fine weapon, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, cut through a few of these whites that are moving about in the halls. Very useful. Clearing out my new home. Yes. I don't know if I quite want to be parted with it yet. Or ever, for that matter. So.
We don't need to talk about it now. Do you have somewhere we can rest? We can catch up.
Well, we've got a camp right out there.
and you kind of look back and you see, like they have like this camp set up. There's a barricade along the wall. Like you can see there's like a big old roaring fire. They've got some supplies set up. A couple dwarves are like, hello, as they as you look past them.
I rummage through my pockets and pull out water skin. I brought your favorite brew.
Oh, you did you? Oh, give it here, you big lug. Get over here.
And he kind of gets you in a headlock and he grabs the flag and he like almost like baby feeds you part of it too.
There you go, you fool.
Come, snag it.
Just like Mom used to make it. Okay.
Been doing that for 80 years now.
I tell you this, cousin, brother, ladies, you're welcome to join if you're hungry. But you won't be taking me back, and you're not going to be taking the axe, I don't think. We've got work to do here. We quite like this place. It's out of the way. There's good hunting down on the slopes there, water over by the bay. Oh, and these snow people seem a decent lot. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and settle down here, Daggett. Welcome to your new home.
Kind of ruffles you on the head a bit.
There's just a little bit of a shine of a tear, but I just squeeze it back in. But the rest of you can see Daggett he's happy. He likes hearing that.
Sure. I don't think that's how tears work, but okay.
That's how it works for dwarves.
Oh, fair enough. Canon. Floyd, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I'm fine with you making your new home here, but we're going to have to strike a deal with that axe.
Oh, cousin, there's no reason to get all ornery, as you can see.
And you look back, and he's got like 20 dwarves with him.
It's like you're not really in a bargaining position.
Maybe we can strike a deal of sorts.
Could we? Well, come on in now, and you find anything of interest in there? You've been wondering what was back. We saw the ruins on the outside suggested something of important here, and anything of note?
Just
Other than the hill folk.
And a monstrous bear.
No. I meant, of course, they're here. I meant in the room, you numbskull.
We've just slid here.
Yeah, but
No, there was
nothing in
here.
here. Nothing at all.
No, it looks like the hill folk already came and cleared it out.
Really?
You're gonna have to roll something for this, actually, since you're lying. Go ahead and roll persuade there, Daggett, which I know is, I think, a favorite skill for you. So.
Yeah, it is favored, and I believe I can use broken spells for this. I can. All right, so I will spend a hope to achieve a magical success, and I'll roll anyways.
Okay. It's a good thing you did that, because I was actually going to give you a negative penalty on it, because he's your brother. He could probably tell when you're lying. But since you're doing that, never mind.
I also rolled a Gandalf.
No, you didn't. Okay, so his eyebrow raises. If you recall, he's a very his beard is extraordinarily scraggy and patchy. You see like little bits kind of twined together here and there. This morning's breakfast, maybe the last night's dinner, still kind of speckled about. His hair kind of slicked back, oily, stringy here and there, and every now and then you still hear him kind of cough away a bit.
It's all right. I guess if there's nothing in there, there's nothing in there. Okay. Come on now. Come on, tell me of your travels there, little brother. My only family. Gosh, wouldn't have thought I'd see you up here. Come on in now. Let me show you. Let me introduce you to the boys and the ladies.
And he kind of starts like naming people.
This here's, I told you about him. This is my brother Daggett. When we were little,
He's like doing all these like embarrassing stories about Daggett, kind of moving around, shoving around, showing folks. The rest of you are let in. Floyd, you get some curious looks, actually. You can't, there are times when people are kind of looking at you. Some of them might even recognize you. Kind of give you some curt nods and some welcomes and stuff, but others you can tell kind of eye you with a bit of suspicion. Gilly, you get a couple looks of like curiosity as they kind of, not everyone is extraordinarily familiar with hobbits, as we know. And then Arinio, they kind of recognize you and see your kind of ranger type visage, garb, that kind of stuff. But ultimately, everyone is friendly, but there is a touch of tension in the air. That's for sure. And you can tell
Aurenial's kind of arms crossed, like she's not necessarily giving off the warmest of vibes to this, sort of like realization that he already has the axe and just the whole situation. She's got a bit of a sour face about.
Mm-hmm. So as you're talking, as you're kind of moving around, you can see on the other side of the barricade, you notice that there has definitely been a couple scuffles here and there. You see chunks of ice and stuff on the ground here and there, like maybe indicating they've had some trouble. You see a few dwarves that have like bandages on their heads and cuts here and there. None of them seem to be in like terrible shape, but like they've definitely been in some scraps. And he kind of pulls out this this axe, Daggett, and he kind of shows it.
So you're here for this little beaut right here.
And it's this double-sided, and you can see the blades, though, are shaped less like axe blades, but more like these chunky, heavy cleavers, like where the middle part is like hugely heavy, and it comes to this sort of like razor-sharp edge. There's all these stains, new and old, discoloration. This thing has been used over and over and over again. There's these runes that are kind of etched into the blades where they kind of meet the shaft of the weapon. But he kind of shows it over to you, Dag. He kind of holds it out for a second, as if he was going to let you grab it. But then he kind of looks over your shoulder. He sees Flo, and he kind of pulls it back, kind of trying to keep the motion smooth, and kind of just rests it on his shoulder. Across the back of his neck.
So, is it just the four of you then?
Yes,
Met
just
another.
us.
Oh, did you? Another, huh? Getting mixed stories there, Daggett. You gotta work on your lying.
He kind of smacks you in the chest.
I can always tell when you're telling me a fib.
No,
Well-
he means that we met a human who lived in the area.
Oh, did
She's
you?
wandering around. She slipped away last night. I don't know where she went, but she did not
away
travel
from
here
you,
with us.
huh? You're getting a little soft, moving around with royalty over here, You can't keep up the hawkish eyes. What would father say?
I show him a dent in my helmet. I took a hit yesterday.
Well, you should be quicker than that. You're close to the ground. Duck, get underneath it. It's a lot easier that way.
Yes. Yeah. Perhaps we could train again for old time's sake.
Not much time for training. We're in the real thing now. And get yourself some food there. I'm sure you're hungry, fresh meats. You little hobbit. Yes, I remember you. So,
And you see as he kind of brings his hand up to his mouth as he's coughing, you see the armband wrapped around his forearm, the armband that Erebon Sorendir gave to him back in the Blue Mountains. And he says,
I've never been one to be good with, decency and delicacy, but what did happen to your elf? It was the funniest elf I've ever met in my life.
And then at that, he kind of, very obvious, like grief kind of passes over Gilly's face. We won't know for sure until we return to Angmar. But
you left him?
He snuck out in the middle of the night.
Oh, did he now? I always thought he had the most sense of you. Getting away from me all with your high ideals and your moralizing. Yes, that's the one. Good head on that one's shoulders, I think. I'm as shocked to be saying it as anybody.
And Gilly
Snagit, I don't know if I've ever heard you say a single good word about an elf.
I know, if you ever meet him, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking it is. Yes. Also, he gave me a nice little present. I don't know what this is. It saved my life once or twice, to be honest. That beast nearly bit down and ripped my arm off, but its teeth couldn't quite pierce through this thing. It's not much to look at, really, if you think about it, but whatever it is, those fangs weren't sharp enough to bite through. So, whatever he is, Mr. Funny Elf, good to you.
And he like holds up this frothy morning beer and he kind of drinks it a bit, and then he dips the last little bit out as he toasts Erebon.
You've done well for yourself, brother.
Oh, that's nice of you to say there, little brother, but it's been a tough go of things. There are more of us, and there's these humans here, like her kind, but different. Aggressive, angry. They've got markings all up and down their faces, and they don't much care for us, that's for sure. They seem to think this place is theirs, and they are incorrect in that. Any idiot can tell. This is made by dwarf hands.
And he's kind of like pointing up, and you can see like this hewn stone, unfinished halls, and all of you agree, like it's definitely dwarven made.
Yeah, but they took a few of us out, and others they took captive, and along the way, those whites, they didn't see those coming. They ambushed us the first night here, took a few friends, and, the beast. Fortunately, only one of us has been taken by the beast, but soon we'll rid the halls of all the uninvited. That's for sure. Then we'll settle in, make it our home. And
We've had our run-in as well.
Did you now? I see you're intact. That's good to see. Good to see indeed, Master Dwarf. So, cousin.
Daggett just grows a little bit more concerned every time he hears that cough, too.
It's like phlegmy and wet.
Cousin.
And he doesn't really call Floyd by his name. He just keeps calling him cousin.
Oh, cousin. You want this axe here?
And he kind of pulls it up and he makes this big old show of it, kind of like sort of brandishing it and showing it in your face a bit.
You want this axe? Well, so did I. That's why I went and took it. What are you prepared to give me for it? The wealth of the Glad Rock. Yes, how many golden and silver pennies? What other treasures you have tucked away, jewels and gems and this and that your family and people have been hoarding my whole life. Come to my doorstep now. Curious to see what price you think there is. shoe was a bit on the other foot, don't you think now? Most of the time it's me and my people coming to yours, those who have too much and aren't willing to share. And now it's old Snagit who's got what you want. Interesting. What a funny situation we have here. Your old elf friend would probably be stitching in laughter right now.
Is it treasure you want?
Yeah. Real treasure is a safety of home. Holes of our own. Outside the confines of Gladrock and Cragstone, Hardmelt and all the others.
That's what I was thinking as well. Thrombin, the head god of Cragstone. He's after your head, just like he's after Daggett.
Well, he probably couldn't be after his own bootstrings, the old fool. Couldn't find this or that. Couldn't find his hand in the dark.
Well, I've reunited you with Daggett here. I've been traveling with him for the past month. But not only
You
him.
traded my brother for the axe. Is that what you're saying here? You indentured there, Daggett. You in servitude to this perfumed dwarf here.
He makes a big show of like sniffing a fly.
Snagit.
Yes, there's a brother.
Thrombin has threatened to send a warband after you.
Let him come.
I'm trying to help you, brother.
You worry too much, little one. You worry. They've been after us for years, and they haven't been able to take us down. Every
This is
time
different.
they send more.
This isn't some traveler with a cart. This is... You stole from the vault. Their most prized possessions. They want them back.
It wasn't doing anyone any good. Sitting there up on a shelf. Couldn't even see it. But all right,
I disagree, brother, but I just want to help you.
I know you do. I know you always worry too much. You worry all the time. And then, boy, this one here. It's been me and him all our lives. Our father, Snook, well, he wasn't much to look at, but a hard worker he was. Came home drunk every night. But just me and old Daggett here, and if you've got him on your side, well, I'll at least take a listen to you. I'll take a listen.
Let's dig into some council rules. Let's. I think this is a good time for a council.
I figured that's where we were headed.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I love councils.
I do too. So let's pull
And I actually made a character that can do something in a council other than saying.
I was actually going to say, because you're his brother, you can't be involved.
Oh, you jerk.
Just kidding.
I know.
Okay, so let's sort of go back through these rules. It's been a little bit. We're gonna set the resistance first. This is kind of the difficulty on what you're hoping to achieve. So you guys kind of tell me. Are you just trying to get the axe? Is that all you want? Is there more? What specifically would your hope be here?
Pretty much helping him out with what he wants, like trading a favor for the X.
So just the axe. It's all you want? There's nothing else?
Well, do we want to try and get help for Helvi and her people?
She left. As Floyd would say.
If it comes to that, like if whatever we're doing for him, it kind of sort of helps her, then it's just sort of mutually favorable.
My goal is leniency for Snagit. I know he would never actually turn himself in, and I don't necessarily want him to do that. So hoping that like we could get the axe off him, back to Cragstone, or Floyd uses it and then back to Cragstone. You know, that idea like might give him some leniency. They won't come after him.
If the only thing you want to get out of him, from him, is the axe, I'm going to put that as a bold request. It's not outrageous. I'll put that as a bold, which is resistance 6. But if there's something else you want, like bring it up now, like their aid in something else or whatever.
Would you guys? This isn't really Daggett's idea here, But if you guys are trying to build up some help to go after Erebon or Sorendir now, we could try to ask them for assistance in that case. Make an ally.
I think a general goal of making allies is kind of one of the things that we're trying to do since we left Angmar. Aurelian wanted to ask Floy, was there any condition that you made with Thrombin about returning Snagit?
I know Thrombin was saying like he would hurt Daggett or something like that. I forget.
I don't think we.
It wasn't so much physically hurting him, but more like Snagit's crimes are kind of be pushed down onto Daggett.
If he doesn't come back himself and stand for his crimes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be like a family, mark or something like that.
And Thrombin did want Snagit to come back, but Daggett's hoping that we can just bring the axe back and be fine.
Where we get the axe and the dwarves just get reassurances that they're up here not bothering anybody else. Hopefully. I do think some assistance would probably be a goal. So I don't know if that's enough to move it up to extraordinary.
So when you say some assistance, what does that mean? Like what kind of assistance and what? Like assistance in the whole thing with Angmar, sending a few. Is that what you're talking about? Because that is enough to boost it up to outrageous. So there's 3 tiers. There's reasonable, which is resistance 3. Mm-hmm. There's bold, which is 6, and then there's outrageous, which is 9. So, just asking for him to trade the axe. That's bold, but not necessarily crazy. But asking them to suddenly, go up there and risk their lives and da da da. I mean that's a little bit more outrageous. I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just saying that's what the resistance level would be. That's how I'm reading it.
I think we should start with the axe. And then
I think you have to set it before you start.
You gotta set it.
Yeah.
I mean,
we can't do a council a week later. This will just be the end.
We decide what our ask is, and then we either succeed at all of it or fail at all of it.
I just want the axe from him. These are frail, weak dwarves that'll probably die in travel, so it's fine.
You shut your mouth.
Boy.
We can't all be dwarven lords.
I mean, you say that, but you look around and they look grizzled and tough, and they have been not living within the pampered halls of the dwarves their whole lives, and they've been roughing it, and they look strong. And more than one of them has a very grizzled look on their face, and they do not look weak. I know Snagit's coughing a lot, but they definitely look like people who have lived the rough and tumble lifestyle, and they have benefited because of it.
Aurelian would believe that, this is what we talked about, that we need more assistance. So to find a group of relatively capable individuals and not try to ally them to the larger fight would be a waste.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll try to get some assistance going back to Angmar from them.
Would failing that even fail the X as well? It's just a fail all sort of situation.
So there's different fail states for councils, and it sort of depends on it. You're not gonna, in this case, the worst thing, even if you were to get disaster, for instance, the worst case would be they just say no, and you might have to find an alternative way of acquiring the axe, but it's just they're not going to suddenly turn and kill you guys or anything like that. That's not what's going to happen, but they wouldn't necessarily just give it over freely. You'd have to figure something out later about how to take it from them.
Plan a heist.
It's like we're having our own council before the council to come to an agreement on what we want.
Always 4. That's going to be her heist.
He's got to tell me. He's got to tell me.
My vote's with Aurelian.
It's 2 for trying to get them to recruit. Daggett's on board with that. Okay. Floyd got.
Yeah,
I gotta.
Daggett is just about the axe, but me personally, I'd like to build some followers.
Okay.
What'd you say, Long?
I'll see how that outvoting goes when I get the X.
Or it's like, I'll see how that happens when I decide not to fight in the next fight. You guys have fun without me. Okay, so I'm going to set it at 9.
Floy stays in rearward stance and just throws stones.
next so let's do our introduction roll. I'm going to say, Daggett, you can roll this one since you kind of were the one. You're his brother, etc. So all courtesy riddle. I think courtesy is probably the one that's most useful here and most reflects what you guys have been saying, if that's okay.
Could I talk you into Enhearten? Specifically because I was trying to butter him up with the liquor and things like that and say that I'm worried about him, let him know that I'm coming from a place of caring about him to try and lift his spirits.
I'm still going to give you courtesy, but I will give you a bonus die for the buttering up of the liquor. So you can take a bonus die, but still have to roll courtesy. Fair enough?
I suck at heart, though, so it's still going to be a failure.
Well, don't forget, before you roll, as Melissa will probably tell you, do we have like a million bonus die? I don't know.
We have a dozen.
We have a dozen. There you go.
I will take 5 to make it favored.
Okay.
There you go. Excellent use. Excellent use of
Yeah, Jeff is so happy about that.
I love when you guys do that.
Oh, that's a lot of 3s, but also a Gandalf. That's my second Gandalf in a row.
Okay, so we've already acted it out. We're just sort of doing the roll, and so basically, if it's successful, the time limit you have is equal to the resistance of the council plus 1 for each success icon. Do you have any extra successes?
No. I had a total of 6.
Okay, so the time limit is 9 then. So basically, there's 9 attempts at this. Is effectively how this works. If you've forgotten. So then we'll move into the interaction phase. So this is essentially the main part where you're kind of using, each person who participates. All of you don't have to participate, by the way. I know we're all here, but like if your character chooses not to participate, you don't have to. You can just step aside and go drink some ale or whatever it might be. But you all go about making skills. You describe how you're hoping to influence this, okay? And usually the ones that are kind of most frequently used, Enhearten, Insight, Persuade, Riddle, and Song, but be creative if there's something else that you want to use. If you recall, like one of my favorite uses was like our very first session where Melissa like went to the dogs and stuff and kind of, I can't remember which skill it was, but I think you use like hunting or something like that. Which is, so if you think there's something like that you could do, that's great. And then there's sort of a basic modifier that might happen. So whether they're reluctant, open, friendly, normally they would be reluctant, which means all your rolls would have a -1. But because Daggett is here and Daggett is the brother, I'm actually going to boost that up and it's just going to be open. So there's not going to be any modifier to your rolls. So you are going to roll.
What a good
flat. Guy. And then that is it. So you guys are sitting down. Everyone's drinking, eating, sharing tales. People are telling you about what's kind of been going down since they've been here. Hill folk, the Lossith, the Whites, the Snow Whites, all that kind of stuff. You guys are exchanging these stories, Snagit, Daggett. So this is all kind of happening over the course of like a morning. So who wants to do something to try to help push this forward? Who wants to take the first attempt at this?
I can go, but I already just rolled, so it's up to you guys.
So give credit to chat as well. So one kind of tactic that we're trying to kind of barter and trade a bit would be kind of making a kind of offer to possibly help with their kind of hill folk problem that they're having. So kind of like offering potentially us providing some security, trying to kind of clear the hill folk out of this area. And basically Aureliel's tactic is that like I don't really involve myself in land disputes and who lives where and what company is selling or not selling in a fair. We have other concerns at the moment, but perhaps we could help with
if you're
security.
Specifically posing the notion that you will help them with this hill folk problem, etc. What skill are you angling for, Renil?
Sounds
like persuade, but
yeah, I would be okay with persuade. That's fine.
Okay. I will, as long as you're not lying about this, as long as you're honestly offering assistance, I'll give you a bonus die. Since you're offering that for a specific task, it's like a barter. So roll your persuade, take a +1 because of referencing some help for them. Absolutely.
All right, so that gives me 3d6s then, and that is I got to do the math because I do have to hit 16 for that. Yes, that's an 8, a 5, a 2, and a 6. And that is more than 16, and so it's a great success.
And you get a great success, so that's going to reduce the resistance to 7.
Yay.
Okay. And so as you mention that, you can see that like Snagget's mid-drink,
kind of, you're willing to get your hands dirty to help out some dwarves, are you? Yeah, I suppose we could join a bit of forces. It seems as though they've been plaguing you, I hear. And so, I suppose that could be something we could find common ground on. That is, of course, if Mr. Perfume Dwarf over here is willing to rough shoulders with a bunch of us, rub shoulders, I should say, with us hearty dwarves of the earth here.
Kind of gives you a look, Floyd, kind of gives you kind of a wink. It almost looks like he's trying to get a rise out of you. But you have progressed. So 8 rounds left, 7 resistance. Who would like to go next?
Could I offer a heal to him, like a heal test for his cough? More so in the sense of like, you're really still coughing. Are you gonna finally let me try and do something for that?
You can do this. Is this what you want to do?
Either that, or I was thinking I could do almost like a lore roll to inspire him about if they go on this adventure with us to Angmar, the glory it could bring to his halls.
That seems more like an enhearten as opposed to lore.
Okay.
But if you want to do the heal, you can do the heal, but what I am going to penalize it because you tried to heal him before and you failed.
Okay.
So he's probably going to be a bit suspicious and not really encouraged by your attempts.
I'm going to do the heal.
Okay. So
I'm going to spend a hope so I can get that guaranteed success.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll.
All right. So I would just basically a -1 on your die.
Okay.
And he'll be like, oh, you're going to try to heal me again, are you? We tried this once before. I think you weren't...
And I've learned a lot on my travels, so...
Well, if you've only been hanging around with this dwarf over here, Mr. Perfect, with all the proper health insurance and all sorts of such, I doubt he's been very sick at all. Those of us who have to get down in the mines, who have to breathe the fumes and have to live a rough and tumble life, well, some of us have ailments that are a little bit more difficult to suss out than Mr. Fancy Pants here with his sniffles when the winter comes.
And I got a great success. So as Gilly's healing him, she's going to explain about the that colony of sick people that she found, the lepers, I believe, and explain how she assisted them, even though it was a scary situation, and she helped them with that like salve.
His eyes go wide when you mention leprosy. And he's like,
what are you talking about? I've been coughing like this for years.
And yeah, it's definitely not leprosy, but it's some sort of like kind of a black lung type of thing that it's not so much an illness. It's not so much like he's got a cold or a flu, but it's something that he, from years of breathing in, like in the deep mines of Gladrock and others, is kind of he has this thing. Now you can't necessarily cure it, but you can sort of suggest treatments to help soothe the cough for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is what she does. Cool.
Okay. So we're at 5 resistance with 7 left on the time limit. What's up? Who's next?
I will speak about some of our travels and adventures here. Talk about Sorendir and how he's kind of gone down. Pretty much.
He'll be like, wait a second. I didn't even know his name. He was a comedic elf whose name was Erebon. Then it was Sorendir. I tell you, he is truly the most interesting elf I've ever met in my life.
Got quite a story to him.
Okay, so
can someone in the audience clip that for us of Jeff giving my character a compliment?
Jeff doesn't think that. Snagit thinks it.
There's a kernel of truth to it.
What are you thinking of rolling there, Long?
Kind of want to awe him a bit. See, like, we're not just some city dwellers kind of living a luxurious life.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Sure.
Can I tap into some distinctive features like proud? If I spend hope.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, proud I think would apply here. Yeah.
Sweet.
Maybe we do the Jaws thing where you start like rolling up your leg sleeve or something like that and showing your scars and stuff. This is definitely he's Quint and you're Hooper. And like, because you're from the rich family stuff, but you've really earned your keep, and he's like, the old fashioned type. So you guys are showing, you want to see a scar? I'll show you a scar. right here. Miss Moffat. She broke my heart.
Rolled 4 pips, got a great success.
Another great success. You guys are whipping through this thing super easy. Okay, so what do you say? What's some of the stuff you say?
How we've faced these nameless creatures and taken poisonous hits and treacherous strikes. Just how we've overcome that.
As you get into some of the stories about these nameless things, about maybe even the things that you saw in Othrengol, the creature that seemed half elk, half man, the weird ice things moving about, he starts sharing stories about the Snow Whites. We fought some of these Snow Whites. Doesn't sound like quite the same thing. But they seem creatures of some sort of spirit, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but it's like if it wasn't for the ice and the sleet and the snow, we wouldn't even know where they were. They just move around and suddenly appear behind us. Yes, they're quite crafty. Sounds a bit like you've had some experience there. Maybe I misjudged you a bit there, Floy of Gladrock. Maybe. We'll see.
That was my name.
Of course I know your name. Honored guest, child of the rich folk of the Blue Mountains. Everyone knows your name, Floy. They don't know your quality, is what they don't know.
So yeah, 3 resistance, 6 on the time limit. Anybody else want to go?
Yeah. I want to go with Persuade, and I want to talk through the logical route about how Thrombin will send a warband up here, and whether they feel confident they can defend it or not. Is that a risk they want to take? There will be casualties on either side. It's better just to take the heat off him.
That seems like a persuade. Yep. Yeah. What do you think?
That's what I said, right? Persuade.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry. I totally missed that. Sorry.
No,
I'm trying to down a lozenge really fast because the voice is killing my throat.
Thank you for sacrificing your body for us, Jeff. I'm gonna have to take a picture because you guys are gonna start calling me a liar.
You rolled another Gandhi.
I rolled a 3rd Gandhi.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think you figured out a way to pick up your dice and roll it. So
this is the second of my 3 dice that's been a 12 and a 10 on favored.
So, by the way, that's what we're going to call it for now. We're calling them Gandhis. Yeah. We got to figure out something funny for Saurons too. But I like the Gandhi one. That's really good. Okay. So bonus success on top of it, or?
No extra successes.
Okay. No worries. It's still a success. Or resistance is down to 2. Time limit's down to 5.
Oh, complications for our
Oh,
gamers.
boy. Okay. I got some more. Okay. So. Okay. I'm going to tap into one right now, actually. And he's going to lean forward, and he's kind of nodding. He's like,
I didn't raise you to be a coward, little brother. Thrombin is he's a city dwarf. He doesn't know. He doesn't have the calluses. He doesn't have the hardened skin. He hasn't wandered up and down these mountains and lived the life that I have. We're not afraid of him. We're not afraid of the scraggly band that they're bringing up here, and they certainly couldn't find us if they tried. You think they'd make it up here? You think they'd make it past the creatures on the mountain? Don't be foolish. They don't care. Now that we're out of their hair, we're just a problem with their pride is all it is. They don't really care one bit at all. And
Snag
honestly,
it. After all this time, you think I'm a coward? This is not fear.
a coward or a traitor? Are you here doing Thrombin's dirty work for him, little brother?
and he kind of stands up at this point. You see a few others, like Mott and Matt on his sides, are kind of standing up too.
My own brother.
I stand up right in front of him, nose to nose, beard to beard.
You smell a bit fragrant there, little brother. You've been hanging out with this one too much. Father would spit on you to get that scent off you. You don't smell of the mines. You don't smell of soot. You smell of comfort. You smell of... Oh, I said it. Cowardice. That's what you smell of, you boy.
And he kind of pushes you a little bit. And I'm going to kick the resistance up by 3. That's my complication. You've offended him.
He offended me first, okay?
Sorry.
Daggett
Not to be
storms
confused with a
off.
sorry. I'm tapping into my complication. Thank you very much.
No, it's good.
Okay. 5 resistance, 5 time is where we're at. So we're still good. You guys are still in good shape. You're still on track. But you can tell that he's like a brotherly fight is almost in the process of breaking out. Mott and Matt, like his left and right hand man, are kind of trying to pull him back a bit here and there.
Ah, frickin' I'll break your face. I'll rip your nose out. Oh, father would be rolling in his grave if he knew what you're doing now. Oh, and don't even get me started on mother. Oh, gosh. You killed her when you came into the world, and now you're killing her all over again.
Who's next?
You just made them all speechless, Jeff.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We were like, this feels like a family conversation.
I want to give him some honey. Maybe that'll work here.
I think Gilly would probably step in the middle of this. So like between both brothers, and she's got like a hand on Daggett's chest, and she's looking up at this is really loud. And she's looking up at Snagit, and brothers shouldn't speak to each other like this. We're here to come to an accord, not have an argument. I don't have time for this.
Brother shouldn't come up here to stab him in the back, you coward. You stabbed me in the face. What's wrong with you?
I'm about to punch you in the face. You keep talking like that.
No, you're not.
I don't
Go
think
sit
you
down.
remember how, you little freaking prick.
He hits very well. Thank you very much. Now you, sir, calm down, sit down. And she pulls out like some sweetgrass. Smoke this. Let's calm down. And she's just gonna, can I do just like a courtesy roll to like get things under control again?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to make it reluctant though, as blood is boiling. So let's kick this up to a -1 on your penalty,
Okay.
a -1 penalty on this roll. But yeah, go ahead and roll a courtesy to try to like reset everybody, pass the pipe, get everyone to calm down.
This is okay. So my dad grows this stuff, right? We call it sweetgrass. It's really good.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah. Just a normal success.
Okay. Oh man, it sounded like it was going to be really, really good. All right, so
Well, I thought it was going to be really good, but then it was a 1, and I was like, oh, that's not really good, but it still adds up.
So some time passes. Like the brothers kind of separate to either sides of the room for a bit. You start kind of smoking a bit here and there. People are talking. There's definitely some blood is a little bit heated here and there. A few times you guys hear the sounds.
Boxing.
You hear the sounds of a distant growl that kind of suddenly shuts everyone up, and that kind of reminds everyone where they're at, and that you're not just in, some random empty mine. You are in a dangerous place, and so that brings the temperature down a little bit. People start to focus. Snagit gives some people some orders to keep an eye out, watch the barricade. A little time passes. Everyone calms, and it does seem to be the temperature has been taken down a bit.
Nice.
So
My
who's
sweet
next?
Rest did its job.
So I have an idea for something. So like the songs that we have, if we like kind of use them officially, what they're for is really just to like overcome weariness, which we don't necessarily need to do. But I'm thinking that I kind of just want to use like the song skill, so that I can kind of try to divert them of like, now is not the time for this fighting between brothers. There are other things in the world that need fighting, and kind of trying to kind of focus them a bit in that direction. So kind of discussing all of the things that we've been doing, which could be song, I think.
No, song is totally fair. It's a rec.
Okay.
It's actually one of the ones listed usually in the default interaction stage. So yeah, I think song would be perfect here. Absolutely.
Okay.
Like everyone's kind of like there's a bit of a refocusing. Everyone's calmed down. People have taken a couple puffs on some of this sweet grass. Ales have been passed. Others are abstaining, and they're staying a little bit more focused and keeping an eye on the tunnels and stuff, making sure this creature is not going to catch up on you guys. But yeah, go ahead and roll that song.
All right. And I suck at songs, so I am going to need to pull a bit from what we've been given here. So I'm going to pull 5 for an advantage. And then can I also pull 1?
We have to be careful these days.
Favored. Sorry. Bad habit.
Sorry. I'm gonna make
5
that
for
joke
favored.
every time.
And so 5 for favored, and then an extra dice, because I only have 1 in song. So I'm not sure that the math is so good with this, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay. Bring it.
Oh, no. Nope. That is...
Have I stolen all the luck tonight?
Yes, you did. That is up to a 9 under 13.
Okay.
Wow.
That is not a success, which means we are now at resistance 4 and time 3. So you start to kind of get into this little hum and this song kind of going through your thing, and you hear like a few of the dwarves suddenly like kind of shout out,
Shut your trap. Don't you understand there's dangers about? You're gonna lure them right to us, you fool of a ranger. What's wrong with you? Surprised you live this long. Maybe you can do that out in the wild, but in the tunnels underneath the mountain, sound carries, you fool.
and that kind of shuts you up a bit, or at least, I don't know if it shuts a Renewal up actually. I don't know. How would a Renewal react to that?
No.
Now that I think about it.
No, it would not.
She just scowls.
She would basically just lower her voice. And
Pulls
be
the
like,
bow.
you think this cave is a dangerous place? You don't know what danger is.
I don't know what danger is, do I?
And you see like scars on his face, got a bandage over his head, bleeding from his arm.
I don't know what danger is, do I? You fool.
But she does sort of
You're
like
a
fold her arms
child.
and sit back a little bit, like she's not.
It's this
Engaging.
grizzly, gray-bearded dwarf who's probably, 190
Sure.
years old, maybe
Sure.
older. And like,
Yeah.
you're telling me
You don't know anything. I don't know danger, huh? You
Renewal
freaking
in her,
millennials.
23.
yeah. Okay. So we're in a dire situation. We are at, it's getting a little dicier now. 4 resistance remaining. because of the complication I added, and 3 time left. So 3 more chances currently, and you need 4.
Yeah. I would like to, and maybe even a slight retcon where this happens like immediately after we were pulled apart. My pride would not allow me to be called a coward like that without some sort of show of strength or ability. I would like to just take my mattock and find like a large rock on the ground and just slam it down and try to like crack it in half just to show my strength and prowess. Would that be like an awe or an athletics?
I think awe. This sounds like awe. Like you're trying to literally like display that. I'll tell you what. He's going to do the same thing as he sees you doing it, and it becomes much like that scene in Rings of Power. Between
We've done this before
between Doran and Elrond.
I was just putting that in chat.
Yeah. So he's going to do that too, actually. And
this is before she started singing and we criticized them about the noise.
Yeah.
So we're breaking rocks.
We're going to treat this as contested then. And so if you do better,
okay,
you get it. And obviously if you get bonus successes and beat him, then you're good. Okay.
Would I be able to activate Proud for this?
Yes, absolutely.
Floy and I are both proud. I'm not favored, unfortunately.
Roll. Very middling roll for me.
I want to get a lot of successes here. Could I spend 5 more audience dice for favored?
Okay.
That's up to Melissa. She knows the total.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Whatever the total is.
I do too.
I think it's like 30 or something.
I'm going to burn a complication in terms of one of those those rocks you're attacking. It's actually a white in it.
It's a mimic. Oh, sorry. We're going to be sued now.
Oh, no. It is a creature that is doing the similar things as this rock.
My luck ran out.
You too?
I needed a 13. I got a 12 with all those dice.
I rolled a 17, which is not a great roll, actually, because I did roll a 4 on my feet die. 5, 4, 3, 1, and a 4. So I rolled a 17. So you rolled a 12, and you failed. And so, like, you come up, you start showing this. Maybe this is like an old way that, like, the Daggett family solve disputes. It's like you just started smashing rocks together, and you get a little tired before him, or like he comes up, brandishes the cleaver, and maybe it's just the power of the cleaver that is just a little bit overwhelming, but he does in fact start splitting these things, and he's doing it with greater regularity to the point where all of the chunks of stone and rock that are left in this hall, he kind of beats you to like 3 or 4 of them, and by the end, like he's crushed like 9, and you've crushed like only like 6, and like it's kind of like a tally thing. And he's like,
"Not yet, little brother, not yet."
But I will say, like he does, kind of give you like a curt nod. So you can tell he's not as angry with you as he used to be, as he was just moments ago. So just like the exertion of this is probably stemmed some of that. He's not calling you a coward anymore, but he doesn't necessarily seem particularly impressed by any of it. So
I let out just a guttural roar. It's not really a yell because I'm so out of breath here. Just and I just throw my mattock across the tunnel and I start walking the other way.
You hear
as it hits someone in the way. Who's throwing the medics down here? Come on now, I'm trying to.
Sorry, go ahead, Gilly.
Gilly leans over to one of Snagget's like elves that maybe is sitting near her, and she's like, is this normal behavior?
So if you talk to, so there's a couple you could talk to. There's his like his right hand and left hand, Mott and Matt. And there's a few others as well. So if you talk to any of them, and like the older one is Roland, the one that Iriniel was trying to say that he doesn't know danger. We'll say you're talking to Hanlir, right? Who's just sort of, kind of looks a little bit like Snagget, and kind of the hair is all messy. He's kind of got some grime, seems to be built into his face. And he's like,
yes, the two of them. I've known them both their whole lives, I would say. And it's the way of brothers. They get mad at each other, and then they fight, and they scrum, and beneath it all, they love each other. I suppose you could say respect each other. It's just, let it play out, little hobbit. They'll be fine.
Oh, I've never had siblings, so this is
You never
different.
had siblings? Oh,
Unfortunately.
I had 6 myself. Yes.
And then she just kind of nods, and this is when Daggett throws his mattock, and then she's just like, oh!
And you just hear, someone accidentally gets hit. Okay. So what do you want to do?
If it was Sword you're throwing it, Gilly would be the one getting hit.
Sure.
Probably.
4 resistance, 2 time limit left.
Oh,
So
God.
you all
no.
really
Sorry,
do want to
guys.
dig into this.
Gotta pull out stuff we're real good at.
We got any automatic successes still?
Somebody, I'm not going to say who, somebody has a very special Twilight Ruby that kind of helps out with stuff. Just gonna
Oh.
throw that out
Jeff,
there.
I don't have any magic items.
That's courtesy on introduction, though.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
and
You could-
negotiation.
In negotiation, so you can use it for this too. And then, hang on one
Sorry.
sec. Oh, never mind. The armband is awareness, actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if I put a social skill on that one. Okay. So 2
Snagget's
chances
wearing
left.
the armband anyways.
He is. That's why he was able to duck really fast when he threw the mattock. All right, who's next?
Imagine it'd be me. I'm trying to think of how to be courteous in this situation.
So courtesy in this game, the way I read it, courtesy is about understanding like decorum, right? Decorum of the moment. Now that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be this like highfalutin thing, but just understanding the place that you're in, like what's the type of behavior that's sort of suited within this culture, this moment, right? So you've observed Floyd, like you know that they don't really look at you with any sort of reverence, right? And these are folks who don't live in a relatively wealthy hall the way that Gladrock was or Crackstone. And that they sort of resent some of that to a degree, and how they were once the mines went empty, they kind of got pushed aside, and then they kind of kept digging deeper, and they were getting sick from it and stuff, and they just weren't treated particularly well. So like you do have like some notion of like how to behave in this group. While you think of that, let me say thank you to Infinite Monkey Tales for the raid. Appreciate it so much. We're playing One Ring, second edition tonight. We are currently trying to go through a tense negotiation, but I hope you all had a good game tonight, and we appreciate you stopping by and saying hi.
Welcome in.
Let's see. Let me see if I get that shout out thing working. So Long, figure it out.
Yeah, I was thinking sort of try to relate to them a bit more. Maybe that's like hiding sort of my expensive jewelry and like clothing a bit. It sounds a bit counterintuitive to Flash's Ruby after doing that, but I sort of just like not look as lavish, try to just look as be more connected to them as like just brethren.
If you fail at this, it'll end up looking like that group of celebrities singing Imagine during lockdown. Like you're just the richest dwarf saying, I know what it's like to go through this pain.
The intent is there. Then we'll see how it lands. Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't be. We'll see.
There's at least an auto success to it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that
Gotta do it
leaves
the old-fashioned way
3
there. Sorry about that.
successes are needed on the last roll, or you can still roll it and get it.
Yeah, I can
another
still
roll.
4
roll.
resistance,
Okay.
2 time. So you have 2
Would you
chances
like?
left.
We have 8 left. If you want either advantage or an extra 1 or 2.
Man, I'll just do whatever I got her.
Any distinctive features?
Long.
They're gonna murder you guys and eat you.
You said they weren't.
You.
I
probably-
lied.
I clipped it.
I'm Sauron. Ooh.
I got another success on that, so 2 total.
Okay, you did your jobs. So I'm sorry, I was doing a shout out there. So like describe what you're doing?
Yeah, I was saying I was gonna connect with them more, just like in a brethren level. I was gonna like hide some of my jewelry, sort of not be as flashy.
Okay.
Just like standout dwarf.
Downgrade a little bit, ruffle the beard up a bit. Give some people some ale. Just kind of do that. Just kind of sit down, schmooze a little, do the politician gig a bit. And yeah, you get some stories. You get some stories along the way, like as you're kind of sharing. You're asking them about themselves as opposed to telling about your exploits. And they're like,
yeah, we fought the beast. We saw it all. And it was such a terrible thing. Our old friend, our old pal Geralt. He was a hoot. That one. He did somersaults. You ever see a dwarf do a somersault, just rolling over and over again? He is the funniest fellow we had. Well, we woke up one morning and he was doing his somersaults, and he goes somersaulting us into the darkness, and all of a sudden we hear, ah! We run on over and we see poor old Geralt being dragged away by that creature. We tried to stop him. Got a few licks in ourselves, but it wasn't to be. Oh, yes. Appreciate you asking about him. He's a dear friend. We all lose people, It's a dangerous world out here, isn't it?
Agreed.
Indeed. You ain't so bad after all. You smell something. Oh, terrible. Oh, it's awful. I can barely smell the mines on you. But that's all right.
And then you see one of them just kind of goes to your beard and is like,
Let's just go and do that a bit, you little fool, son.
Okay. Last chance. You need 2 successes on this. Who's bringing this home?
I'd like to try and redeem myself unless someone feels pretty confident about something they've got.
I could do an Enhearten roll, which is decent. If I spend a hope, I'd have 4 dice extra.
I can do persuade and spend a hope for an automatic success, and then I would just need another success. But it's favored with 2 dice, and an audience dice would give me a 3rd.
It's pretty good.
But I'm fine with the Enhearten if you feel like you can get it. Go for it.
Well, I feel like it feels better if you bring it in as the brother.
The way I'd like to go about that is I'm not talking to Snagit right now, but I'm fairly old. I'm like middle-aged for a dwarf. So there's a good chance that I've met some of his companions before. So I would like to mingle through the crowd, specifically faces I'm somewhat familiar with, and, play to them about like, we all know how stubborn Snagit can be. I'm trying to help you all as well. This is a great home you found. We could really build a clan here. We don't need to start the founding of a new hall with a war.
Okay.
As in, like, if they don't give back the axe, there will be a war.
And I think Snagit's the older brother, I think, and you would probably know Mott and Matt. You can kind of go back a ways. Like, they've always been like probably his closest friends. And then there's others, and so like they're the ones who are kind of left hand, right hand, etc. So yeah, you probably get into their ear. And as he's kind of checking in on some of the guards that are up by the barricade, kind of get in their ear a bit, and you can see a couple of them kind of nodding their heads, listening to like, oh, good to see you, old Daggett. It's good to see you up here. I haven't seen you in a while now. It's been a few years. Yeah, what you been doing with yourself? And you kind of shoot the breeze a bit, but then you start kind of launching in, you transition to that. So go ahead and do your roll. You need 2 total successes. I know you're getting 1 for free, so you need 1 more after that.
Yeah, spending a hope, and Melissa, I'm spending an audience dice as well.
Okay.
So let's redeem those bad dice from a second ago. No Gandys, unfortunately,
no.
but it is a great success.
Great success. Okay.
Yay.
So,
Daggett, you got to understand about him. He's grown angry, He doesn't quite care about being cast aside and such. He's been I don't know. He's the sickness has gotten worse a bit, and he doesn't sleep as much. You know, it's troubling, in fact. But he's led us this far. You know, for the past year up until recently, we've been kind of feeding off whatever scraps we can find up in the ridges of the Blue Mountains, hiding from the glad rocks and the cragstones and the footbecks and such. But this is a real find here, and I really think that once we get these rapscallions out of here, take care of these whites, and do something about that beast, we can finally settle in and see that there's more to life than, just sticking it to the man. There's a home here we can have. When we've got friends still back in the old holes who have kind of kept their noses clean, can invite them on up here. This could be a real place. Those snow people, they seem kind and such, We've had a few run-ins here and there. Trade is a good thing in those hills. The forests are flush, deer. The bay filled with fish. It's a wonderful place, my friend. I'll tell you what, I'll talk to him. I think I can reach him. I think he's just a bit shocked, It's that one over there, that the one from Gladrock. It bothers him such. He thinks he's got it in his head. Snagit does, that he thinks that one thinks he's better than him. And I know that's not the case. He's a good lad, that one. He's a good lad. But he's a stubborn one, Snagit is. But I'll talk to him.
He'd never admit that his younger brother might be right.
No, most certainly not. Best you let Mort and I. Yeah, he and I we'll plant the seed. I'll tell you what. We're gonna hang on to the cleaver for a bit. We got some undead here that we need to take care of. Let's say we team up a bit. We go moving around the tunnels, clearing out some of these things. You help us clear these holes, and well, I'm sure we can talk old Snagit into handing the decks over.
I'll talk with the others, but I'll stand beside you.
Yes, I know. You're a good lad. And don't worry, we know as good as any the dangers that lurk in the shadows. We've heard things, smelled things, seen things down in the belly of the Blue Mountains. Things that still keep me up at night. Yeah. If push comes to shove, if those shadows rise up and they try to cover the land, don't worry. We'll answer the call. We will. The meager hands we have here, after all.
Claps you on the shoulder.
We're dwarves, after all.
Forehand clasp.
Yeah. We're dwarves, after all. We look out for each other.
And so, you see they drift off. They kind of head over, and you see they get Snagit's ear, and you see them start talking and stuff like that. A few times, Snagit kind of looks over at you. They don't. They're trying not to lead on, but he's kind of looking over at you a bit, kind of probably sensing what's happening. So what are the rest of you doing? As it does seem like the rest of the crowd is certainly more inviting, especially with you, Floyd. Like you look over after this conversation, Daggett, and you see Floyd and like three of these others. They're drinking, they're laughing, they're roughing up the Floyd's hair. Like, a fairy wife? You got married to a fairy? Oh, come on now, Floyd. You should know better. You don't go wandering after glowy lights in the middle of the dark outside the Shire. Oh, you fool little boy, you. Oh, goodness. So what are the rest of you doing?
I would say Auriniel would probably still be a little bit kind of antisocial with them, and just kind of be walking around kind of the outside, just keeping an ear out for any potential dangers that might be lurking while all of this merrymaking is happening.
You wander kind of down the tunnel. You see a dwarf who's like rubbing their eye, like, oh goodness, and he's kind of like got this. You see Daggett's mattock in the ground and stuff. What is wrong with those fools? Oh, it hurts so bad. Madam Ranger, good. Hello.
Do you need a quick wrap on that eye?
Oh no, it's all right.
And he kind of takes the hand away, and you can see like blood, everything. It looks terrible.
No, I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
I can assist you. I can.
Oh, I don't want to put you out there. No,
it's this, all of this drinking and carrying on isn't necessarily for me. I have a few moments.
Oh, well, if you insist, if it makes you feel better, if you want to feel useful, I understand.
So yeah. And she's like, we don't need to roll anything, but you kind of go through the process of doing it. What about Gilly? What's Gilly up to in all of this?
Gilly is in her element. She's walking around, she's gossiping, and she's also helping tend to like small wounds and stuff that people have. So like the guy who's got the cut on his arm, she's like mothering him, and she's like, even though he's much older than she is, but she's just got that like attitude, the bedside manner where she's like, let me clean this up, and she's getting it wrapped up, and she's like, you have to wash it first so that it doesn't get infected. And like,
wash it.
I know, and
I wash once a month. That's plenty. I don't need to wash again. That's crazy.
Well, just your arm. It's fine. And she cleans it up, and like it's like
being a
grime
mother
she's
hen
taken off.
Okay. So after a certain point, a little bit of time, like most of this takes place. This whole council scene, this conversation, negotiation, tense as it is, takes hours. And eventually you see Mott and Matt and Snagit kind of return to this sort of the room where the fire is up, the food's happening, and you see Snagit kind of stand up on this kind of bit of a stone on the side. And he's like, kind of clicks the kind of the hilt of the axe like onto the ground. Stump thump. It's like, okay. Listen here, my friends, both old. And he kind of looks at the rest of you. And though it seems we're in a situation here where we could help each other. Now, these halls, I think we all agree, are filled with several folk and creatures that we don't want here at all, do we? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to group together and devise a plan and do a bit of extermination. Whether we're running them out to kill them, driving them into the ground, whatever it be. We've got whites. We've got hill folk. Greedy, stealing the treasures of the dwarves they are, taking it back for their own nefarious purposes. And then we've got the beast. Now, there's quite a few of us here. You look around and there are, like, counting you guys, there's almost 30, I say, I've heard from a few that my brother over here in the Hobbit located the lair of the beast. Well, we know of a chamber where those whites tend to retreat and congregate in some socket of power or some such, and there's more than a camp of hill folk as well, including the one up on the surface. So what I say is we do a three-pronged attack here. We figure out who goes with who, and we take these out. So, because he's my brother, because these folk here seem to have seen a bit of danger, I'll let them lead the charge here. What is it you're going after? The beast, the whites, or the hill folk? And so he kind of turns to you. So basically, like, what do you guys want to do?
Daggett would want some revenge on those hill folk.
Mm-hmm. I think that, honestly, we need to take out the hill folk first. They have captives. Didn't you say that they had some of your people as well? And they have members of the Lost Off, and if you want to
Yeah.
make your home up here and be friendly with them, then helping their people is one way to embed them to you.
It's true, it's true. I don't know if any of our folk are still alive with him. The beast took one away, and the whites, well, they scared a few senseless. The hill folk, however, we took out as many as they did. It was a fight. A good one, you could say. Don't much care for fighting humans, but so be it. They're not supposed to be here, and those treasures they're finding, they're ours. They're ours, they are. What kind of fool takes treasure from others that it's not theirs, you know? So, if that's it, if you want to go after these humans, I suppose we could do that, yeah? Split the party a bit, maybe. Send a few after those whites down towards the pool, or...
Because that's probably what'll happen. It's like you'll probably devise a plan here.
Yeah.
What do you guys think as Gilly turns to the rest of you?
I do agree that the hill folk have been a thorn in our side for quite a long time at this point, because that is almost from the very beginning of the campaign. We've had leads with hill folk. So I do see the logic there. I think our skills might be needed, though, in some of the fights with the whites or the creature again. So
I was
Arnie
wondering.
was leaning toward one of the other two.
I was wondering if we can just pit them against each other, like lure the race into the hill folk and just have them duke it out, and we can clean it up.
Yeah, it's a good thought, Master Floy. However, that's one of them hill folk, fiery red hair. She carries a weapon of some kind, and I think she might be a witch or something. And we tried to, we were scouting one night, up on the surface where her camp is, over by one of the streams. We thought perhaps these whites would go after them, but the minute they emerged, she spouted a few words in a tongue I don't recognize. And her axe done glow as it stomped into the earth, and it's as if it seemed to, well, ward them off. Or maybe they fell under her control. It's hard to say, but I can tell you this, I ain't never see any of those whites do a lick of harm to those hill folk. She's a frightening visage, she is. And those words, well, they caused a chill to run down my spine that the ice and the snow couldn't.
I forgot that Lottie was here.
We might want to hear those words ourselves.
Heard something similar when she raised
Very true. Very true. So mechanically, is this something that like we all need to pick one of the three, or we can kind of go and...
Yeah, so the way I was going to handle it is that whatever you pick, whatever order you do this in, like you can try to accomplish all three, right? But like whatever you do first, it's going to have an impact on, going to the next thing. It should have an impact on so the state of things. Like if you go to the hill folk first, and then you go try to take out the whites next, and then you try to do the bears. The longer you wait, the state will be different. Doesn't necessarily mean it'll be better or worse. It'll be different. That's all.
I imagine
thought. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was imagining we'd go with the hill folk, since that was like most recent. We even have Helvia.
Helvi.
Yeah, even she ran off after them, so we could see what happened with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see the logic in that for sure.
That's what I was thinking. And if there was mention of like the dwarves doing something else as well while we're doing that, if they were going to do that, I would suggest that they go towards the whites. Okay. And then the beast would be something that we try to all take on together.
Together, yeah.
Okay. Because at least the whites, Snagit has that axe that'll help against them. That's my only thought. Like
and
they would have at least
some already.
Right. But if we did all of them ourselves, I'd be fine with that. Or I do think that the beast should be something that we're there for.
Okay. So hill folk first. It sounds like everyone was in agreement with that.
Okay.
Well, brother, I suppose we won't be fighting side by side just yet. I'll head down to the bulls below and sort out what it is that's got those creatures the humming. You take out the hill folk and I'll race you to the lair of the beast. How about that? Do you need some of mine with you? Malt and Matt, perhaps. They can lend a hand if you need. Or are the four of you capable of taking out a couple dozen of them hill folk on your own?
I could take them all out on my own, but I suppose the hobbit, the human, and the perfumed dwarf could use someone to watch their back.
Ruffles you on the head. There's that boastful pride I know so well.
Gilly pinches you. I healed you, you know.
I don't even look down at her. I just pretend like I didn't hear it.
He'll send 7 dwarves with you guys.
Oh.
Okay. And he kind of looks, okay, Mott. I want you and old Rollin.
And so Rotlin is the old guy that Iriniel totally insulted for being a boomer. They'll kind of come over and you see a few other dwarves as well.
They're like, okay, now listen. You listen to my brother. You do what he says. You follow him. Help these people out. They're one of the clan now, you see. I want to see as many folk back. I don't want any... No one dies. No one gets left behind. We agreed?
Agreed.
She agree.
All right, then.
And he takes the axe and he puts it on his shoulder and he kind of looks over at Floy.
Well, maybe you'll get to use this one day, but it ain't today, my friend.
And off he goes into the darkness as he leads his group into the direction of wherever they're going. Okay, so if you're looking to go tackle the hill folk, you remember a vague place where they were camped out, but you also know that the kind of jig was up. They were shouting, they chased after you, etc. So you could go check that out, or Mott would probably tell you that there is an encampment on sort of the northeastern slope of the mountains on the surface, and that's where the red-haired woman was last seen. They say we haven't encountered them for about 2 days or so now. We've kind of been keeping clear on the southern sides of the halls. They haven't really seen them as much, but on the northern sides, they've been kind of running into them more and more. So they could potentially take you there. So it's just the question of, do you want to go to the surface or do you want to go and check out the other one first?
I would say surface.
Keep in
Take out
mind
the
that
head
I'm pretty
Yeah.
bad here.
Well, we know that they didn't have the Lossoth up on the surface because they were trying to get them to locate the treasure. And we are trying to find the prisoners, so perhaps we should look down below first.
So again, I want to restate. You set a trap. You killed a couple. A lot of noise was made. They knew people were right near that camp where you saw the captured Lossoth, right? Like they knew there were people
probably
there.
moved, definitely.
So yeah. I just want to keep that in mind.
So we would be wandering the tunnels trying to find more of them. May not even be the same group. Could be the same group.
Yeah.
Could find whites even. Or we could go up and deal with the camp that's going to be heavily fortified and very tough, and Floy is injured.
Yep.
Both sound pretty great.
Certainty of death, small chance of success.
We could.
What are
try
we
to
waiting
see
for?
If we could track Helvy, I mean.
How about
If
we're
that's
just
an option.
going into this, or we just go straight up there? It's kind of the same either way.
The camp above ground?
Yeah, given my condition, if we're going to fight.
That's what I vote for.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
If we're going to TPK, let's do it in style.
If Aurenia looks at Gilly and says, if Floy is feeling up to it,
It's that or I dig a hole and sleep for 3 days.
Well, Floy, if you're injured, you can sit out this one and we'll come back for you in a couple days. You know, we got some other dwarves that are just as good. I mean, almost as good as you.
Now you hush. He'll just be a little more careful. Right, Floy? You'll be a little more careful?
I won't be as brash.
Okay. This will be...
I'll be even more brash.
Yeah, there we go.
It's more like
That's
it.
the Floy we know and love.
Okay. So you guys are trying to go up to the... You're just going to go headlong right towards it? That's what we're doing? I love it.
I mean, we
I
scope it
think
out, see
it's
if we can come up with a plan. But yeah.
Okay. Now, the good news is that I'm not going to require any sort of roll to get there, as you have people with you who know how to get there. So there's no chance of that. I am going to roll a little like random encounter thing, see if anything happens on your route there. And it does not. So that, like, you could see that Mott kind of gets out in front, leads the way. Rollin, the old man, brings up the rear. Everyone's else kind of in between. Axes and such are out. And like the dwarves are kind of moving through. Daggett, Floy might feel really good to actually be with dwarves, this thump, 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 thump. And these, again, are really like hard-nosed dwarves. They're not decked out in the greatest gear whatsoever, but you do see a few of them probably put on like, a little bit of treasure here, a little bit of treasure there, something that they might have taken from the vault. Maybe not as renowned as Kobar's Cleaver, but definitely some nice stuff. But eventually you'll reach out up to the surface. And remember, it's springtime. The cold winds, but otherwise it's probably the nicest time you could probably be here. Maybe this summer, perhaps as well. But they kind of lead you in a direction a little further up the slope to the north, and you can see what they mean when you look out. There's no heavy fog covering everything. You see forests forever. You see in the far distance the glistening ice bay. You can hear the sounds of streams and such moving through, the sounds of birds kind of flying by overhead. And it's actually really nice and kind of untamed country up here. And Daggett, looking at this, like you can see the attraction of it. The dwarves, it's not like the dwarves have any shortage of food, but definitely there is a shortage of wealth going on right now within the Blue Mountains, as the mines are dry here and there and people are constantly looking for new things, and maybe this could be a place to tap it. But eventually you do see a plume of smoke, and as you look down from a high ridge at an encampment, you see what looks like right on the edge of a stream, of a relatively thick stream, probably about 10 feet across or so, down this kind of terraced slope, rocks and some greenery here and there. Go ahead, and whoever would like to, just to try to do an assessment of who and what is here, you can do an awareness or a battle roll, I would say, one of those two. They're going to give you different information, so if you want to have people do both, that's fine as well.
I'm always up for a battle roll.
Go for it.
Billy, you're good at awareness, right?
Yeah, I'm always down for awareness.
That's the wrong button. There we go. That's the right button.
Battle's an 18 over 14. So that's a success.
Okay. So, first you'll notice that as you're looking around Aurinial, you notice a fiery red-haired woman. You see Lottie. You recognize Lottie. She looks different. She is clad in armors and this dark cloak, and she just has kind of taken on an even more sort of frightening appearance. But like as the cloak falls down behind her and the skin of some kind of animal, you can see that kind of tightly pulled back hair, and then as it hangs down the back, this explosion of red and orange. And she sort of sits there examining, she's got like that long black axe you've seen before on her knees, and looks like she's just kind of sharpening it here and there. Nearby, you see that there are in total, and this is what the battle roll will get you. You see that there are, I'm counting, 12 with her. You've seen these hill folk at work. You know that some are stronger than others. You can see that of them, like you're looking at the weaponry, some of them, since the first time you fought them, they've upgraded their weaponry. You've heard rumors at times, and you heard things about there being a forge or something active, perhaps the fires of Karn, something like that. And you've heard these things, and you can tell even when you had the fight the other night, where that wounded Floy, many of them carried similar long axes, not that kind of darkened black, clearly some sort of artifact, but they carried those long axes that hurt, that just hurt and wounded both Floy and Daggett. About half of the number that you see is made up of those people. The other half, as you see them moving about, are a little bit, kind of more, they're not as well geared out. You see like leathers and things like that. A hand axe kind of dripping down hanging down from a hoop on a belt. Maybe a spear sticking out over a shoulder. So nothing that you necessarily have. Is too intimidating on its own. So what you see is a very large contingent of these long, hefty axes, and then groups of sort of more moderately geared folk. It's like half and half. Any questions that you wanted to ask? But that's basically the equivalent of what you've seen.
How was that encampment looking like? Is it they got like tents and stuff pitched up?
No, they do not. They have furs and such that are kind of sprawled out on the ground. There does seem to be a fire just a handful of feet away from the stream itself. And they, how'd the awareness test roll? Who rolled the awareness?
I rolled awareness and I got a great success.
You do notice that there are 4 captives, all of them bearing that sort of the white furs of the Losoth, of Helvi. And in fact, because you did so well, you see one of them is unfortunately Helvi as well. It seems as though she was captured. Aurinial, I would also say with your battle roll, you do notice that some of them are wounded. Like some of the folk that you see ahead of you have actually suffered some wounds as well. So they're not at full strength. Maybe they're the same ones that you fought the previous day. You're not sure, but yeah. So talk amongst yourselves. What do you want to do?
How heavily are they guarded this time? They have the captives.
I gave you the numbers. They're not. They're captives, so they're not like they're on the outskirts. They're there. They're under sight. They're bound together. It looks like each one of them is kind of bound to another. Like they both are bound back to one another, and their legs are also bound as well.
Does it look
What
like...
is...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Does anybody
You're the one who
leave...
had awareness, yeah.
Does anybody leave to like the camp to go hunting? Or do they have food there readily available?
There's food already. It's like midday. So it's like, because you guys spent most of the morning in your council. It doesn't look like any, I mean, like this, what I'm giving you is just like your initial observation. So if you want to look for those types of patterns and things, that's something that you're gonna have to commit to saying, hey, we're gonna stay here. We're gonna watch this for a while. But this is just what you initially see.
Okay, got it.
What is the terrain like around the camp? Like, is it rocky where there are ways we could walk up out of sight? Is it in a forest?
It is a green sloped hill, but by green I mean more. You see the sprouts of spring growth of grass and weeds and flowering. No trees. There are a series of tiers and terraces. Okay, so you can see that it's rocky and there's multiple levels here. So from a range perspective, like 1 or 2 people could probably keep a high level, but they are kind of spread out on probably the widest of terraces. And their camp is right next to a stream, and that stream just continues to like go down the terrace, and it starts somewhere further up the mountain. You're not sure where, and then it kind of disappears down the slope.
Is there anywhere with these terraces and the stream where we could bottleneck them or something similar?
probably, since you're out in the open, it's unlikely you'll be able to bottleneck them. The terraces aren't too large. They're like a handful of feet. So like it would just kind of take time to climb. Yeah. Nothing like huge and cliff and steep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Griffin, I do in fact have a map, but I'm describing things and sort of getting it set up because I didn't know necessarily which way they were going to go first. So I'm sort of setting this up. So keep asking questions. Keep talking.
Would Reneal be able to do like a secondary battle roll to kind of try to look specifically for areas where there might be kind of like high ground that we could, kind of like an area that would be a good point for us to kind of get some surprise or you
already have it. Like there's no like searching for, like you can see, like I was saying, it's like a series of terraces. Like there's like these drop off points where like there's like rough levels, and there's definitely places where you could potentially put an archer or two and have some distance. Yeah.
Okay.
Would we, as a group here, I'm asking, would we be able to come up with some sort of plan to split them up again? Perhaps, they obviously like captives. So perhaps we split the party and Daggett takes a dwarf and maybe another one of us, or probably not, to like show their small numbers, maybe lure half of them away, and we just circle around while the rest of the group is, hammering away at the group still at camp. And then when that small decoy comes back, we hammer at them.
Yeah, just make it seem like you guys are out, like making a camp on the surface. Maybe you're chopping down a tree for firewood, and that draws attention to you.
And if we could have overwhelming numbers on one side, it's risky for the 2 or 3 that pull them away. But if they can just run and keep them going long enough to come back, we could try that. It's a risk.
Yeah, and then initially, if possible, just like bum rush the hostages and free them, so we even have more numbers. So we'll just grow that.
Yeah, if at all possible, that would definitely be a primary goal.
The reason I would offer to be the decoy is because I do have stealth and I'm sort of okay at athletics. So there might be a chance for me to hide in a crevice or behind a tree to that contingent keep going past, and then I could double back.
Counter you, as I'm pretty frail in this battle, and I could be the decoy instead.
That's fine too.
And what are you thinking, Gilly? Would you want to be part of the decoy or part of the attack?
Bow from a terrace.
Yeah, I was thinking I'd probably go up on the terrace so I could shoot from above.
Okay.
So we're kind of splitting three ways.
Walk me through your plan. As you can kind of see this is a basic layout. Like it's, we don't have to be perfect with it. But this is sort of the basic idea, right? So what is your plan?
What I would say, and you guys feel free to correct at any point, is that Gilly and a couple dwarves cross the stream upstream to be at a higher terrace that they could shoot down then. Floy and another dwarf or 2, probably 3 to be safe, create a decoy, maybe crossing the stream downstream so they're on the same side to pull some away. And then the rest of us just attack headlong.
Well, how many of the dwarves did you want to go with Gilly?
1 or 2 with Floy.
1 or 2? Okay.
Oh, I thought we said 3 with Floy.
Yeah.
I meant 3 total.
What about with Gilly?
However many could still shoot, so maybe just 1 or 2 there too. Floyd, what do you think? How many dwarves do you want with you?
The 2 play.
Now, this would really only work if the hill folk split in half. Like they would really have to split in half for it to be worthwhile. So it would depend on Floyd being able to draw enough away. And I think with 3 dwarves, that'd be a juicy enough target for them. You know, they'd obviously want overwhelming numbers. You know, if that pulls away 6 of them, that would work for us.
Yeah.
But it would all depend on if they even take the bait.
We should have the dwarf who's up with me try and sneak down behind them down the crevices to try and release the captives.
So
how stealthy are our dwarven allies?
Okay, so remember how we use NPCs in this game.
It's
we
an
use them
assistant, so
more to boost you guys. Now, I'm perfectly fine with you putting them on like a task to go do stuff. That's totally fine. It just means you remove them from your pool of boosts, basically. Okay. So
what
if how stealthy they are? Yeah, they're decently stealthy. I mean, they've been sneaking around and hiding from Gladrock troops and Cragstone troops. You know, they're okay.
Lights and
yeah. Like these aren't professional soldiers, but they're roughnecks. You know, they're tough, and they're crafty, but they're not necessarily the most like disciplined affair that you're going to have. But they're tough and crafty.
I'm going to ask a question, and this is like Aureliel knows more about battle than Melissa does clearly, but might we want to do it in reverse, where we're trying to get them to run up? Where they would be at a disadvantage. So we're trying to get them to go up where they would be at a disadvantage. And we are trying to sneak around the other side, which is more where the hostages are being held.
Run up at Floy? Like put Floy up?
Yeah, kind of go the other way where like Floy is up and we're trying to get them to chase them up while we're coming around the backside to try to get in.
I was just thinking ranged is better to have the altitude.
I see. Yeah.
Like Gilly will be
okay.
able to shoot down easier than she could shoot up.
Well, yeah, because if I'm shooting up at a negative. That's right. Penalized.
That's right. Okay. That works.
And then. she could be across the river while the rest of us, like she could have the stream between them and then we attack from up above. Like the rest of our group could be up above. That wouldn't be a bad idea. If she's level with them and still has the stream in between, it means it's going to be difficult for people to get to her either way. I think it might be better for her to have the altitude though.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Just to have it where it was. That works.
The other thing is, like I said, I'm decent at stealth. I could be the one that tries to sneak up and let the prisoners go. And even if I fail at that, I can just stay defensive until you guys catch up with me. I mean, I'm at full health now. And if I'm in defensive, they're going to have a little bit more trouble hitting me. And I've got 5D for armor. So it could be hard to wound me.
Yeah.
So Gilly's got 1. Aureliel, you'll lead the main assault across the stream then with 4 dwarven allies with you.
Okay.
I will do my best to stealth through after Floyd does his decoy. And the moment I free the prisoners or am sighted, Aureliel and Gilly, that's when you just go into the attack. I will try to move around the same time as Floyd, just a little bit after Floyd goes, because then Floyd will be able to draw them away, hopefully a good amount, maybe not. Floyd, if you don't draw them away, just go in for the attack.
Yeah, I'll make them follow me.
So I'm going into the straight across. So I'm going kind of just straight across here.
Yeah, you're going to go directly across. I'm going to go that way too. Actually, maybe I should go with Gilly just to make sure she gets across here? Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, Aureliel, she could come up from this switchback. So
that's going to be the direction they run after Floyd, though.
Oh, true.
Yeah, I have no problem.
I'm open to
cross. I just
changes.
wanted to make sure that I was clear on my role.
I'm just concerned about crossing the river.
Yeah, Jeff, how hard would it be to cross the stream?
It's not. It's just a simple mountain stream.
Got it.
Like
Okay.
if you were trying to like run across it and like escape or something, that there's a possibility of slipping. But like if there's no real issue to cross it. It's not a river.
Okay, cool.
It's a mountain stream.
Got it. Okay.
And again, we use this map more as an approximation, not necessarily exactly as it is, but it's an approximation to give us some depth and everything.
Some ideas.
So Floy, you take your dwarves, head over there, sing a song, make some noise so they see you, and then just start running. I'll go with Gilly, try to stealth our way up into a good position. And then as soon as Floy, you pull them away, I'll start trying to sneak down to the prisoners. As soon as I'm caught or the prisoners are free, Arenio and Gilly, you just start firing. That sound good to everyone?
Got it.
This feels fun because I'm a captain, so I get to plan stuff.
So I'm not doing anything with my 4 dwarves until...
You are arguably the most important part, but yeah, you have to time your attack correctly because you're going to be the ones that do the most damage.
Okay. And so I'm timing it to wait until they've left and the prisoners are freed.
Prisoners are freed or they spot me. Either one. Whichever one happens first. If they spot me, then we just attack. If the prisoners are free, then you attack because we have extra hands.
Jeff, are these rocks here that I'm pinging on the southwest side of the stream big enough for us to kind of be taking cover behind?
Yes, that's fine.
And watching everything.
That's fine.
Okay.
So I know that. So we're going to do this sort of the setup. I'm going to have a couple rolls just for some basic setup, and then we'll sort of dive into the combat stuff of it. Okay. So I know that I'm going to need some stealth rolls. What happened to the music here? Doesn't seem to be working for me. I'm going to need some stealth rolls from Gilly and Daggett, as they're going to try to sneak on up to the ridge above where the encampment is. So that's going to be your roll. And then I'm going to need something from Floy. Floy, you're taking 2 of the dwarves and you're heading kind of down the slope. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. And then and in doing so, you're hoping to draw them away with some kind of distraction.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting their attention.
Okay. So give me a roll for that distraction. And then Arenio, if you guys are just hiding, go ahead and just roll stealth then, if that's the case. So let's get those rolls going and let me know how you do.
What kind of roll would you like? Yeah.
That's up to you. You tell me how it's going to work for you.
Yeah, I was sort of just imagining crossing the river, just sort of talking to the guys like, oh, this is an old mine full of treasure. We're going to find it all for ourselves. Maybe just all of them. I don't know.
Okay, so are you trying to distract the dwarves with you, or are you trying to distract the hill folk that are in the encampment?
Both, so I can get away.
Okay, so you're trying to make a lot of noise. How close are you getting to them?
A sprinting distance.
Okay, so you're purposely showing yourself, and you're kind of moving in a way to kind of try to draw them off. All right, I'll say roll like an awe. We'll say.
Could I use my useful item for stealth?
Yes.
And I can use bonus dice for the extra dwarves, right?
Yes. Okay. Arenio, did you make your stealth test already?
Yes, I passed.
Okay. Gilly, how did you do?
If I roll an extra one for the dwarf with me, I got an extraordinary success.
Okay. Daggett, how did you do?
Single success for me.
Okay. And then Floy, how did you do with your awe? This is going to impact how many are sent after you.
Also 1 success.
1 success. Okay. So.
He meant 1 Gandalf and then 3 successes.
Okay. So those of you move into your positions, you hear the sounds of them talking, planning certain things here and there. Some of them are going through some of the finds that they've found within the dwarven halls here. And suddenly the sounds of Floy and these other two dwarves laughing and cackling about the riches and treasures they're going to find becomes wafting upriver a bit or upstream. And those of you with eyes on the encampment watch as 4 of them move off as Lottie kind of looks up and doesn't even say a word, and she just nods, and the 4 of them with great quickness just jump up from where they were sitting, and they start trudging down the slope in the direction of where Floy and the 2 dwarves were hanging out. Okay? So, what's the next part of the plan? So far, a few of them have moved away.
The next part is that I try to stealth into camp to free the prisoners. Hopefully with Floy being enough of a distraction to give me an opening. Would it also be okay to say that I took like spare knives and stuff from all the dwarves with us so that I have like just some daggers I can hand out to these prisoners if I get them free?
That's fine. Okay, there's still a decent amount of people in the camp. One of them being Lottie, who is very, very good at what she does. I am going to make this ill-favored. And so your roll is going to be at ill-favored. And then something else might happen. So go ahead.
Can I still use my useful item to pad my armor so I'm quieter?
Yes, go right ahead.
And I will take an audience die if we have one left, Melissa.
Yes, we do.
One audience die.
That puts us at 6 left.
And 3 complications.
Thanks for
I
that.
still have 3 complications. I'm sitting on those. I know how I want to use them too. I'm very
the fear that just went into my
should,
heart.
Right?
You should be afraid. You should be afraid.
That is a great success.
Okay. So you're going to, and again, we're using the map just for approximations. You're going to take this wide berth as you start moving around and down. Because if you just were to try to climb down that slope where you're standing above them, you would easily be seen. So you take this wide berth kind of a little further north and around, and you kind of start climbing up. I'll kind of move your token off to the east here, and you start climbing up this this slope, this little ridge behind this little rock where it looks like the 4 of them are kind of bound together. Now, during this process, while you're doing this, because this is taking time, Floy and the other dwarves are running because they're catching up with you, or are you stopping and fighting them?
No, I'm just running.
Okay. Roll an athletics test.
Remember, he's a natural
success.
sprinter.
Natural indeed,
Okay.
extraordinary.
You do manage to keep out ahead of them. They don't seem to be gaining on you unless you want them to gain a little bit, so they stay interested. But the 3 of you are continuing to move down the river. Now we're going to put these just for the map organization's sake, we're going to put the 7 of you together. But like just they're off the map at this point. Like you can't see them anymore. They're that far away. So Daggett,
The plan was for them to make a big loop that they would rejoin us at some point if they can.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, so then I'll say, since you're specifically looking for Gilly, and you and this other dwarf friend of yours are looking down from above, you can see barely this little tiny shadow suddenly appear and poke up on the ridge behind where these Losoth captives are bound. And you know it to be Daggett. And he moves with great carefulness in the direction of where they're at. And you can see he starts cutting their ropes. Now,
Gilly's got a flame arrow ready because she's going to be the one who sets the signal for Aurenial in the group to charge in.
Okay.
So she's just on hold waiting to see if Daggett runs into a complication or like if they're noticed or
she knows the meta currency of our game.
No, I didn't mean it like that. But I meant like if he gets noticed or
Okay.
if they are able to get away.
So you watch and watch, and they are like they don't seem to be aware. A few of them are kind of moving about. You can say they start to kind of like drift a bit, and a few of them are kind of looking down the ridge, seeing if they can see like where the rest of them just ran off to. And so you can see they're kind of, you know, like kind of looking back towards Lottie, who's saying nothing, but none of them kind of notice, especially since probably the lost at this point are doing their best to kind of pretend like they're, you know, in trouble, but they're also maybe hiding Daggett, and that little rock where they're bound next to is sort of helping as well. So Daggett, I would like you to roll another stealth test. Same deal
All right.
as before.
I will not use the audience die on this one. I'm still
We have
ill-favored, right?
6 left, just so you know. It's not just 1 left, it's 6.
Yeah, I'm just worried about combat now. And now we're kind of okay. I'll use an audience die.
Okay.
Still ill-favored though, Jeff?
Still going to be ill-favored.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm very nervous for you, actually.
So are we.
Don't be actually. I rolled a single success.
Okay. You manage, and so this is specifically for your ability to cut their ropes, cut their binds without being noticed in doing so, and kind of also keeping them quiet. You manage to sneak up. No one's kind of like, every now and then one of the guards will kind of look over towards them, but they're not kind of keeping like a constant eye. And you manage to get the binds, you know, binds cut, and you slip daggers into their hands, etc. What do you do now, Daggett?
They get the daggers. I just let out a roar and start heading towards Lottie with my Matic. Like, that's the signal that we're attacking.
Gilly, you hear the shout of Daggett. You fire your arrow so that like up and over so that Auriniel and the dwarves can see, and we have now engaged in combat. Floy, you're still at a distance. You're looping back. In terms of timing,
Melissa gave me a look. I feel like I skipped a step somewhere.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay, good.
That was a relief that what you did was successful.
Floyd, you're eventually loop. You're gonna be two rounds out of the combat. You're still gonna need to roll athletics test to kind of keep at a distance. At any point, if you want to stop and just fight them, you can do that too. But you're going to be not back on like the battle map effectively for 2 rounds. Okay, does that make sense?
All right. Yeah.
If you want to just stand and bang with these four hill folk that are following you, just say so, and we're good to go. Like, but otherwise, it'll just be an athletics test when it comes to your turn.
They're going to be like behind me no matter what, right? Like even if the 2 rounds come,
they're following you. It's like they haven't lost you. So yeah.
If I hear,
so it's your call.
Yeah, if I hear Daggett scream, and I'll just...
You hear the sound of Daggett scream, and let me go ahead and let me put everybody into this ridiculously big, it's gonna be a very big, what's it called?
Combat tracker.
Combat tracker. Okay.
Floyd's getting bloodthirsty now that he hears a fight starting. He's like, maybe I should fight.
Okay.
Remember, the idea is that we kill some of them here so that we can outnumber them.
So I'm gonna say those of you who are ready, that are at the camp, you can do your opening volley. Gilly, if you're shooting from this upper ridge line, you can take a bonus die from that. And then Auriniel, you and your dwarf start charging in. But you can shoot a bow or throw a spear or something like that as you start charging in. Okay, so the 5 of you come out and you start running across the stream. Okay. So. Let's do Gilly first. Gilly, you're in the range. You're up top. Go ahead and roll your. If you wanted to do an opening volley attack, go for it. Let me know who you're targeting.
Sure. So I'm targeting one of the minor folk who is like looking to see where Floy and them have gone.
Okay.
Who's like up by the river. Okay.
So we'll probably just do the one that's probably closest to you, easy enough in your range. I wouldn't. Again, this is. I would say target the one that's probably closer to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So target the one that's probably closer. There you go. That probably makes more sense. Okay. Otherwise, I would probably make it a little more difficult as you're firing through people.
Yeah, it's a distance there.
Okay. So go ahead and give it a roll.
So I got a great success, and I've got a 10.
Okay.
So please roll for a wound.
Okay. So that's going to be, what do they got? So they've got default 2. I'll burn a hate to get, or a resolve, I should say, to get an extra die on this. And I'm going to roll. So yeah, I got 3. Oh, also I should say all of the tokens. So of all the tokens, just so you guys know,
Okay.
the female, like kind of thiefy looking tokens, they have a parry of 1. So that means your target to hit is increased by 1. The kind of thuggy looking dudes with the clubs, their parry is 2. So those are the ones that are carrying the long hafted axes. So your difficulty to hit is up by 2. Lottie is a parry of 3. So your ability to hit her is going to be increased by 3.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind as you roll and make up the rolls that you all do so that you cheat. Okay, so here we go. That's going to be a 10 on the roll.
Okay, injury 16.
Okay, so injury right off the bat. So you take her out. Might one character.
Job, Gilly.
One of them immediately falls.
This is the second time I've been cool in combat, Jeff, in these 44 episodes.
All right, so let me.
Ashley, you're always cool.
I'm just going to take them off the map so we don't get confused.
Okay, cool.
Because there's so many tokens right now.
Yeah, I feel like we could add a few more people into this, Jeff.
No.
I have 3 complications.
Oh, I meant on our side.
No, you guys could have, but you only got 3. Okay,
No,
so
I'm
then
teasing.
Aurinial and Daggett, you both get a opening volley as well.
Okay, so Aurinial will target one that was very close to the one that Gilly just successfully shot at. So I have 3 with me. I don't know that helps me much here. I feel like this is just a straight roll because I'm just shooting.
So the way I'm going to think of it is like, if Ashley is using, or if Gilly's using the one up top, the 2 of you are shooting the same one. So you're both firing down. If you're charging in with these other 4, you're all kind of throwing axes and like a few of them are hitting. So it's fine. So but again, you can use each one of them once per combat round. That's how you use them. If you want to use all 4 of them, use all 4 of them. That's fine. And so I would flavor it as you're all just sort of like hurling, throwing axes at the same one.
Okay.
She's just doom, 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 kind of getting hit left and right.
Okay. So I basically have just told them like target that one.
Okay.
Okay. So then I, tell them that one straight ahead on the other side of that rock. So I'm rolling lots and lots of dice.
Okay.
Wow. All of those dice. No, 1 success.
Sucked apparently. Okay, okay. What's the damage?
3.
All right. She probably takes a little bit of cover or like drops to the ground really fast or something like that once she sees the one next to her fall. Or maybe she even takes cover. She like grabs the dying body of the other, and all of a sudden, all of the hand axes kind of slump into the dead body. One of them gets through, clips her, but she is still standing. And then Daggett, you get an opening volley.
Yes, I already rolled for it, and I missed just barely.
Yeek.
Okay, so you
took
a shot at the devil,
star of that,
and you missed. Okay, so then let's go into proper combat. Let's go in the proper rounds of combat. What stances are we in?
I'm going to be defensive until Irenial gets in there.
Okay. And then Floyd, did you want to stand and bang with these 4 that are chasing you, or did you want to run in?
I'm going to run for a round.
Okay, so you're going to run for a round still. So just give me an athletics check. As long as you roll a success, you just need 1, and you can use the bonuses from them with you. You're good to go. So Daggett, go ahead and change into defensive. Aurinial.
I'm gonna do open because I want to do rally comrades.
Okay. And then Gilly, I assume you're in range. So we've got our stances. Let's start doing, this is going to get a little complicated now with our tokens. So Daggett, you already said that you're going to be on Lottie. Okay, so let me count.
Yeah, I'm having trouble changing my stance again.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, don't worry about it. We'll just remember. Yeah,
Yep.
just remember what stance you're in. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hill folk that are in the battle at the camp. And then in terms of allies, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you guys have more. You guys can assign your own targets. So, and you guys can assign your allies to targets. So that's how we're going to treat this, so we don't have like people getting overwhelmed. So Daggett, you already said you wanted to go on to Lottie. Auriniel, where do you want to go?
I'm going into open stance on the one that I just shot at, but I'm doing a combat task, so I'm not actually going to be attacking them.
Okay, no problem. So then let's start assigning the rest of these then. So we'll assume one of them that's coming with you will take on the other guy that's standing at the river's edge. Another one will probably venture out and take the one off to the left at the base of the ridge where Gilly and the other dwarf are firing arrows. We'll put one of the Lossiths on a couple of these guards as well. Each of them will get one, essentially. And so we can kind of spread it out. And then that leaves us with 2 that we can kind of put to get a bonus on somebody. Where do we want to put those? Remember, if it's 2v1 on a target, like there's like just the outnumber thing. So where do we want to send
I would
these
definitely
last
like
2?
a bonus somewhere.
One of them is going to charge in on Lottie with you. And then what about this last one?
I would put with Auriniel, right?
Strategically, if we put it by me, would that help when that one's trying to attack me, since I'm not actually attacking this round?
Yeah, that's fine. It'll attack that one. I do have a health pool for this, and if they do get targeted, they will go down.
Understood.
And I will target them. Okay. All right. So all of those targets are now set. So let's then go. Was anyone in forward stance? Auriniel, Daggett. Okay. Open stance, Auriniel.
Auriniel. Yep.
All right. You're
so
up.
I am doing it in Hearten.
Okay.
And can I use one that's near me?
Yeah.
To help with the Inhearten? Okay. And I'll take I'll just do it straight. This is only going to help Daggett, so hopefully it succeeds.
Okay.
I've got to do math. 3, 6. No. That is a failure.
Try now,
I
Steven.
appreciate the effort.
Try to switch your stances now. Okay. So
Yep, that did it.
Auriniel, you shout out, but maybe it's the water moving down the stream that kind of drowns you out, or maybe it's the fact that as you start shouting, it is not in fact Auriniel's voice that we hear echoing, but we see the axe, the black axe of Lottie, smash against the ground, reverberate, and you all hear kind of that familiar sound of whispers beginning to like wasp throughout. And Auriniel's voice just doesn't seem to carry anywhere.
I suddenly have so many regrets.
You guys really should. Daggett, you're next.
I'm in defensive, so that's -1 die there. Swinging my axe, I would like to use audience die and use my companion. We're just targeting at the same time. He's trying to parry to pull down her guard as I go in for the strike. That should be the right amount of dice. She gets +3. Shit,
Plus
that's
3
a bad
parry.
roll.
This is the boss, dude.
Miss. Damn,
Oh my
I rolled so
gosh.
poorly.
You just can't get within the length of her. Like, you're trying to get in, but the length of her weapon as it swings and nearly cuts your head clean off. You have to kind of duck down, and by the time you lunge desperately, she just brings it back, and the staff, like the handle of the axe just managed to break that lunge. Okay. Then we're gonna go into ranged, and it's Gilly.
Gilly's gonna just continue to try and help take out these people so that other on the ground can help against Lottie.
Okay.
She's gonna attack the one that's near where she's at the ridge.
Okay.
The woman token.
Okay. Okay, so the one to the north? Gotcha.
Yes.
So one of the Lossith is kind of lunged at with this crude knife that Daggett gave her.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna use the one to assist me, perhaps Yeah. And that is sweet. That is a great success. I got a 9, so no injury roll.
You can spend the extra success to get it in to remember.
To bump it to 10? Yes, I would like to do that then.
Okay.
And then just 4 damage then.
Okay. So let me do the protection. I'll do the same thing I did the last time. I'll burn a hate to get an extra die. They've got, since you're attacking that one, that has 2d by default. Then it's got the extra, and then my d12. Okay. Did much better this time. So it's going to be a 21 on the roll.
Okay, yeah, I passed. My injury is
no
16.
Right. So and how much damage did you say?
4.
4. Okay. Recorded. Okay. All right. Floy, you make your athletics roll.
Yeah, just one success.
You and the guys are running and running. You can hear the sounds of battle. You hear that familiar like whispering that just seems to waft through, and it replaces the sloshing of the water all of a sudden. Okay, guys. So what we'll do next is I'm going to have them effectively attack you guys. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to start with Lottie, of course. Lottie's got a might 2, so she's going to get 2 attacks, and I'm going to split them, 1 on each. We'll start by attacking Daggett, who is in defensive, correct?
Correct.
All right. I am going to use her Fierce Folk ability to get an extra die and favored on the attack. And she's going to swing down at you with her long-hafted axe. That is a disturbing amount of ones. Wow. So it's 8, 11. That's only a 13, actually. That's a terrible roll.
That's a miss. Parry 15.
Okay.
My bad luck ran off on her.
You managed to... Yeah, okay. And I won't spend it for the... I won't spend the extra on the person. So it's going to be... Where was that roll? 9, 12. Okay, so that'll hit, but I don't get any extra successes. So although the dwarf with you does take a hit, they are not dead. They take a terrible cut into the side, and you can see the blood splatters, and they look towards you, and like they seem like they're okay still. So you have survived the first attack by Lottie. Then the one that's fighting Auriniel, you're in open stance. Is that correct? All right. I'm going to tap into the Fierce Folk ability that she has. She's going to swing at you with her axe, and she's going to get an extra die. And she's going to get favored on the roll. Oh my god, the ones are insane.
Oh gosh.
10, 13, that's 15 to hit. Was that Auriniel?
No, 16.
Okay. You managed to block that one off. Then let's see what else we got. So the rest of them are NPCs. Okay. So
NPCs fighting NPCs, basically.
NPCs fighting NPCs. I do not want to roll all of these. That's kind of absurd. So what I'm going to basically do is I'm going to roll 2d12. One is going to represent you guys, or actually the black one will represent you guys, and the lighter one is going to represent them. Whoever gets higher is basically who's winning the fight. And after a couple of wins, one of them will fall. So just going around, starting. Okay, so at the top, these two to the northeast of this fight are not going your way. The two that are northwest of Lottie. All three at the very north are not going your way. The one on the west is going your way. The one by the rock underneath Gilly is going your way. And then next to you, Auriniel, also not going your way. So clearly one of those dice did better than the other.
Yes.
Okay. New round. You've survived this first round. I really wanted to hit Daggett because it would have been fun. But we are in a new round. Round 2. At this point is the round you're coming into the battle. Is that correct, Floy?
Yeah, I'm flying in there.
And so we'll say, like, you come trudging up the water. You've got the these dwarves with you. You manage to kind of get to the ridge on the northern side of the stream. These will come up. Who do you want to target? You're probably going to have to target one of these 4.
Can I notice if any are injured or have been trying to recover from wounds?
Roll either a battle or an awareness test.
Do battle. 11. That's a fail.
Okay. Unclear. You can't really distinguish between them. They all have little bit of blood here, a little bit of torn equipment there, but none are really standing out.
Then I'll just target the hill folk with a special axe.
Yeah. So they'll just move you over to the right there, and each of these will probably target one of the separate, and we are good to go again. Okay. Are you going into forward stance as well?
Yeah, I'm flying in forward.
All right, man. Give us a roll. Give us your attack on this one that's chasing after you.
Yeah, climbing up the waterfall. Come in with the tongue of the dwarves here. My virtue. Barukazad for the dwarves.
And you hear it echoed, right? You hear the rest of them start, Barukazad for the dwarves!
This will give me favored in my attack with the free secondary to intimidate.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Big roll. Great success.
Okay.
I will use it for heavy blow.
Okay.
For 14 damage.
14 points of damage. Okay. That will not take this one out, but it is a good chunk of damage. Since you had a great success, this is going to hit all might 2 and under, correct?
Oh, that's just my attack. I have to roll the all.
Oh, you have to roll it all? Okay, you have to
Yeah.
roll separate odd. I'm sorry, I thought it was like the same thing. Go
Yeah.
for it.
This one's extraordinary success.
Okay, because it's extraordinary, that actually will in fact hit Lottie, because a great success was not good enough to hit Lottie, but that will in fact, and it makes them weary. Is that correct?
Yeah, for the next attack.
Yeah, for the next
My
attack,
hero.
they're all weary. Got it. I'm not going to click all the buttons on there. I'm just going to remember. Okay. Daggett, you're next.
Yeah, this is a Floy appreciation episode, though. We love you very much. Daggett is going absolutely feral. I'm going open, just swinging with all my might, again using the bonus die from the one guy and using an audience die, Melissa.
Got
Go
it.
for it.
Rolling 6d6 here.
+3. Doesn't change your parry, just so you know.
Yeah. Okay. Let me count all these, but I'm pretty sure I hit. I need a 16. There is a 12, 16. Yeah, so that is a great success.
Okay, so what are we talking about in terms of damage or effects?
I'm not piercing, so I'm just going to heavy blow here. 8 damage plus 7 plus 1 because it's two-handed, so 16 endurance.
16. Got it. Okay. Describe how it looks. That's a good hit. It doesn't take her down or wound her or anything, but it is a good hit.
So we're really just, me and my fellow dwarf here are just working as a team, and he went high, and I just swung right at her knee because I just want to weaken her for the next hit. Just trying to, inch by inch, we're going to take her down. So I'm just trying to make sure that her footing is off.
And you see her just kind of like just their leg kind of give out for a second. Eventually she kind of steadies herself once more, but she does take that hit. Aurinial, open stance.
Yep, open stance. I continue to have my sword out. So I didn't actually attack this one last time because I was trying to do a combat task and failed. So now I'm mad. And so now I'm going to swing at this one here. So I've got my
One right
3
by the
dice for
river
my
still.
sword.
Okay.
And my extra dice for my dwarf friend helping me out.
Go for it.
And I'm going to grab an audience because I don't want to fail 2 rounds in a row.
Okay.
How embarrassing would that be? Oh my goodness. All right. So that is a... Like, it's a success, but I continue to not roll much over a 5. So 3 damage.
Okay. Chipping away. not going down pretty quickly, but chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. Okay. And then we'll go to Gilly. You're up. What would you like to do?
I'm going to shoot the one that I did again, but I'm not going to use my dwarf as an assistant for me. I'm going to have him help the one that's in the middle along the ridge. I'm going to have him attack that one.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Sure. Well, I'll, like when I do my versus thing, preferably I would like, because this is extraordinarily complicated and there's a lot of NPC on NPC action, but I can do it if you want. Okay.
No, I'll just use him as assistance then. Okay, I got an extraordinary success.
Uh-huh.
Yay.
I did. I rolled 2 Gandalfs.
I truly don't believe any of you anymore. Just like, I think you all lie. So what's the total damage? Or what are we doing with it?
Well, can you roll for injury?
Sure. I'll burn that hate again, and they are weary, so all 1s, 2s, and 3s, I think, on this roll will be ignored. Well, I did roll a 2 and a 3, but I also rolled a Sauron and a 6. So that's, I think it's because it's a Sauron, I'm good. So it's no wound.
Yeah.
No wound. 12 damage.
What's your damage? Okay.
Because I got the extraordinary, so 4.
That
4,
is enough, actually. Exactly 12 endurance left on this one. As you fire down, you do 12
Yay.
points of endurance.
Gilly's racking up the kill count.
Right?
And that one.
Being up on the ledge
away.
is helping me a lot.
Mhm.
That was
This is what we needed, though,
wise
just to be able to
tactical
pick
choice.
off those red tokens.
Indeed. All right. So let me get rid of that one off the tracker. Okay. And so that is the end of your guys' turn. Goes to mine. All my people, all of them are weary. So every attack is going to be hurt somehow. All right. I'll start with Lottie. She will do the same thing she did last time, and she will attack a little bit of both. So I will start with Daggett with the axe. Burn my hate. To get Fierce Folk triggered. And 3. And you're in forward stance, correct? Is that
On
correct?
Daggett, yes, forward.
Yeah. Okay. So then. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Right. All right. So 3s and 2s are gone. So I got rid of those. So I rolled 2 3s and a 2. So both of those are gone. However, and then on the and then on my d12s, I rolled a 10 and a 1. So the 1 will go away since this is favored. The 10 will stay. And then the other 2 dice were 6s. So that's a 22 to hit.
Oh gosh.
That's a hit. And it's
So
piercing,
10,
isn't it?
A 10, a 6, and a 6. Actually, I don't think this is piercing.
Doesn't
Yeah.
the 10 make it piercing?
Well, now I can't remember. I thought I had to. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what the 6s are for piercing. Yeah, I always confuse piercing blow and like piercing to like use the die to increase the thing. So yeah, first of all, go ahead and roll your protection roll. And I'm not going to tell you because I want you to have to come up with a number, and you don't know what it is. So it's hard
53
to cheat.
success.
I rolled
that's
3 Gandalfs.
Wait, aren't they called Gandys? No, the target is 20.
No, I got a 13.
You, sir, are wounded as she swings this axe as she rights herself back up, and she takes this big overhead right and buries it into your shoulder. Go ahead and roll the wound severity table.
Nine days. Oh gosh.
That's
Yeah,
brutal.
you know what else is the fact that you need to take 20 points of damage.
Knockback is a thing.
knockback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
As I did roll, I rolled a 10 and 2 6s. Those are the things that remained after weary. So it's a 22. I put them both in the heavy blow. Heavy blow on my side is their attribute level. She's an attribute level 7. So that's 7 plus the base damage of the weapon, which is 6, which equals 20. So I just want to show my work.
I don't appreciate you showing your work, actually. I would have rather
so much
just...
for you. For everyone else. Okay. So you're going to take knockback, and you're going to kind of go stumbling down. Her second attack will go then against the dwarf that is here. But I won't do like the crazy stuff against her. And actually will miss because of weary. So I rolled a bunch of ones on that one again. All right, so Daggett is out of the fight for a round. And we'll then, let's see. I'm going to go right to left. The one that's on Floy, on the lower part of the battle to the southeast. This one's going to swing at Floy. You're in forward stance, is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm going to burn a hate to trigger my Fierce Folk ability, which is an extra die and favored on the attack, which I'm going to desperately need because of this. Okay, because of the weary that you guys from the intimidating. 3 is no good. 1 is no good. I can get rid of that Gandalf because I rolled it favored. And then all I have left are 4s. So 4, 8, 12, 16 to hit.
It's funny.
Okay, it's just straight 4s, so I don't have anything on top of it. So this is going to be a total of 6 points of damage.
Okay, that'll put me to weary, as I was still pretty wounded from last fight.
All right. Then, let's see, who we got next? Let's go to Arinial, the one that's on you. We'll swing at you with the axe.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to do that Fierce Folk ability. It's so good. Why not use it?
Because it hurts.
And you're in open stance, so no
because
extra
we don't
dice.
like it.
Yeah, I'm in open.
Okay. All right, those 1s and 2s are gone. It's a Sauron and a 5 and a 4. So that's a hit with a Sauron. Go ahead and roll for injury. The injury rating on this one is 18.
Yes, Dirty Dwarf 77. This is a cool game that is
Dirty Dwarf,
kicking our asses at the moment.
That is the perfect name for our current adventure because there are a whole bunch of dirty dwarves on the map right now. All very dirty.
Wow. So I rolled incredibly well on the severe injury table because I actually rolled a moderate injury.
Did you roll your protection roll first?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So again, it's a D12 plus a number of D6s equal to your armor rating. So what do you have for armor? Let's take a look.
I'm going to roll it off the sheet just to make sure that I'm doing it right.
So it looks like you've only got 1 protection from that close-fitted shirt. So let's see. And so because it's close-fitted, you add +2 to whatever your roll is. So what did you roll?
So I rolled a 14.
Okay, and it didn't add the +2, so you rolled a total of a 16. Because you have a close-fitted armor, you have a bonus on it, it gives you +2. The injury rating, unfortunately, was 18. So that is a fail against the axe. So you take a wound.
Okay, so now the roll that I did on the injury table happens, which is actually a moderate injury, which means it was violent enough to expose you to the risk of worse consequences if injured again, but no real lasting damage was inflicted. At the end of the combat, you will recover fully in a matter of hours. Okay.
You also don't take any fatigue during travel. Okay. So I want to step back for a second. Daggett took an injury. Is anybody fellowship focus? Is Daggett's fellowship focus?
Yeah, he's my new one.
So isn't that a shadow point?
Shadow? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so Floyd, you look.
Floyd
didn't take one this fight. That was last session.
Yeah. No, I realized I've been rolling injuries wrong this whole time. Is what I was about to say.
Oh, do you want to? You mean you rolling your protection roll?
You're muted.
Do you need to re-roll it then to do it correct, Steven?
I think something's happening.
Connection's unstable. Sorry, guys. Keep going without me.
Okay. I will. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to roll it for him to make sure. He needed a 20. I'm looking at his protection. He's got a 4 protection from the coat, 1 from the helm.
All right.
He's got a 5.
Nope.
All right.
Keep going, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm going to roll it for him. So he's going to be rolling 5d6s for this protection roll. I'm rolling your protection rolls, Steven, to do this correct. So d12 plus 5d6s for him. 10, 13, 18, 20, 24. He is not wounded, as I rolled a 24 on his protection roll. He has a lot of freaking armor, a lot of protection.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Jeff. Sorry about that.
No worries, man. You back? You good?
I think I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah, I rolled your protection
I realized
correctly.
Yeah. After seeing Melissa roll it, I'm like, holy shit, why haven't I been rolling? I do.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone again.
D12.
Okay, so
I just rolled the D6s.
Okay, yeah. So you should be rolling 1d12 plus 5d6s as long as you have your helm on. So you're not wounded, Daggett. You're good to go. Okay. But Erinial, you are. So you took it, but you took the moderate injury, so you're fine.
Yeah.
Then I think all of the players have been attacked. So let me do my little 50-50 thing to see how everyone's going. The top row is where it was really bad. And it continues to be bad for the northeast.
No.
The one to the north is even. The one to the west is going poorly for you all. The one to the southwest is also going poorly. The one right next to you, Erinial, is going well. And then the one that's outnumbered by you, Floy, is just automatically going to be losing since it's 2v1. The one standing right next to you is also faring poorly. So Floy, your dwarves aren't doing well. So there we go. Okay, new round.
Dwarves are going to get us killed. Not our bad rolls. It's going to be the dwarves that get us killed.
Daggett, are you still going to take the knockback?
I did take the knockbacks because I would have taken that endurance anyways. Yes.
So that's a great question, Zoro. Helvi is the one that Gilly saved and kind of killed the one. So I'll say Helvi will kind of kick over and help out one of the ones that are doing poorly. Okay. So you're still taking the knockback because there's going to be a bunch of damage. Floy, are you still in forward stance?
No, I'm actually swapping over here.
Okay, go ahead to defensive. Erinial, are you staying in open stance?
Yeah.
Okay. Daggett, you're going to be scrambling up anyway, so you can't do your normal, but you can do something else, right? What was it, Melissa? He could still do something. I can't remember what it was.
A secondary action. But I don't have many of those.
Okay. So then we'll go... So Daggett, you regain your footing. Then we go to Erinial. Erinial, open stance. You've been hacking away at this one. What do you want to do?
I'm sorry, before we go to Erinial, I regain my footing and I re-engage, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that...
Yeah.
I would like to re-engage with the hill folk to the north instead of Lottie.
Okay.
I want to take out more of these minions before we go back to her.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. And now they are no longer currently... they're not going to be weary anymore, as that has faded the intimidate action from Floy. Okay, so we'll go over to Erinial. What do you want to do?
I'm going to keep trying to swing my sword.
Okay.
So I've got 3 for me and 1 for the dwarf next to me and 1 from the audience. And try this again.
Please do.
Um, 6, 12. So yeah, that's a success. That is an extraordinary success.
Very nice.
But I had a 2, so there's no way that I can get to piercing. So
well, you already chipped away some damage on her. So if you did heavy blows with your extraordinary, where would you be at?
So that would be so it's 3 for the sword plus 14 plus 1.
Okay, so you're up to 18. That's enough. So describe how you take this one down.
Okay, so Erinial is just irritated because she tried to enhearten and Lottie just kind of muffled that, and she took a swing and just kind of missed, and so it's going to be actually kind of on the backswing that she's going to take her sword, and this is going to be I'm aiming for shoulder. I'm aiming for shoulder arm removal.
And you do. You hack into the arm. You hear her cry out. "Ah!" and the arm just kind of flops down into the stream, and you see it just begin to move with the water. She falls back. The water gets red with her blood, and her body starts to shift. Doesn't move as easily, but it does still move. Okay, another one is down. We will go then to Floy, who's in defensive.
Yeah, the last stroke I took dropped me to one knee and put me to weary. So I have to drop some extra load here if possible. So I'll reach into my pockets and do pocket treasure as I throw my treasure into his face and drop 6 load, so I'm no longer weary.
Gold dust in the eyes.
Gold dust right in the eye.
And I'll follow up with a swing after him.
Okay, yeah, go for it. So silly.
Just this one success will do 7 damage.
Okay. 7 points of damage to the one in front of you is actually enough. He was sitting at 6 endurance from your last hit. You did 14, so describe how you take this one out.
Yeah, after he pulls his hand up from distracted treasure in his eyes, I just hit him with the flat side of the axe and just swings him off the edge.
Okay. And so he goes falling down the stream, getting just redder and redder as the fight continues. Okay. So then we'll go to Gilly, who's in ranged as well. So go for it.
I am going to shoot at this guy by the rock.
Okay, the one right below you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's not been going your way. It looks like that dwarf is on their last legs, because if they lose another one, they're out.
And then instead of taking him as assistance, can I just send him down?
Yeah, it just means so like to just tank somebody. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So they start climbing down.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay. So this is just a regular success. It is just 4 points of damage.
Okay, 4 points is not enough to take them out, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then we're going to go to player turns now. So we're going to say, Floy, you're amongst these. You killed yours. So I think
I'll re-engage to another one here.
Yeah, that's fine. Melissa, with Irinial, where you have re-engaged somebody else?
Yes, I would have gone to the east
Okay.
with that one.
I'm going to say, mechanically speaking, though, you wouldn't have had to do it right then until we assign targets on the next turn. So there's actually no one engaged with the two of you to attack you. So the two of you are okay. Daggett, since you moved up, I think it's kind of...
Would I have been able to go defensive, or can you not do that when you do knockback?
It's a separate thing. So like defensive stance is like the first thing you do in a round of combat. So it's not an action. It's just everyone selects a stance. So yeah, you could be defensive. All right. So she's only got one attack up here. So I'm going to figure out whether she attacks you or whether she attacks the Lossith. She's going to attack the Lossith. Okay. And so if she wins this, the Lossith is actually dead. So I'll go with that. So we'll do those. And unfortunately, that snow person of the forest shell has passed. So the one as you stumble up to try to help Daggett, you watch as they thrust forward with the dagger, but it just misses, and it kind of just scrapes along the hip. And then she comes back with an axe and buries it right into the neck of this the forest shell person. So they're down. Then off to the next. I'm going to do Lottie at the end. This one, unfortunately, another Lossith has fallen. Man, that top row has just not been good for you guys, at all.
0 for 3.
Okay. And I'm going to say, because the others are like 2v1ing there, I'm going to say the one's going to I'm going to give them basically favored on this. Nope, never mind. I don't even need it. So everyone's fine on the west side. Southwest is also fine. And then near you there, Floy, I'm going to say this dwarf that's been kind of outnumbered unfortunately, because it's been taking on 2, he has fallen. I will focus then on Lottie, who is going to take 2 swings since Daggett left this dwarf all by themselves. And they're going to have to take the brunt of Lottie twice. So
And they already got hit once, too.
Well, they just got hit again. That dwarf is a goner. That was over 20 on the attack. Second attack, 13, 21, 24, even better. This poor dwarf gets obliterated at the center of this fight to the point where it's just sickening. This huge overhead stomp right through the shoulder, and you see this dwarf arm just sever. And then you see a horizontal swing, this wide arc, and then the head of the dwarf just pops up into the air and drops, and blood soaks the ground as Lottie has taken one down. Everybody, go ahead and roll a valor test right now. Normal, just your for Shadow as the sort of the horrificness, and not only that, but you once more hear the sounds of the whispers begin to emerge.
Jeff, I rolled a Sauron. I passed, but I rolled a Sauron.
Okay, good to know.
I passed as well.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to switch over to my headphones here as my my Bluetooths are dying. So talk amongst yourselves.
It's been a while since I've rolled a Sauron.
3 hours.
But yeah, everything else, like most of everything else that I'm rolling is like 2s, 3s, 4s, maybe 5s at the most. But
okay,
and I rolled a Sauron. Oh wait, so hold on. The Sauron is a 1. So let me actually see if I passed. 1 second.
Sauron's a 1. I think Sauron's just you don't count it.
It's a 1.
A 1 is a 1. I thought.
I was doing math with the 11. I wasn't doing math with it being either a 0 or a 1.
Yeah, Sauron doesn't count towards anything. It's effectively
it's a
0. Yeah.
Okay. Then I failed.
Okay. Anybody else fail?
Yeah. I did.
Both of you take a point of shadow. As that was a horrific scene, and then those whispers seem to come out as if it's sort of blood for a moment. It kind of swirls, and she stares down at the two of you, and there's like this moment of recognition, as if she knows who you are. Okay, let's move into a new round.
Going back to board.
It killed. That's right. The attack was so vicious it killed my earbuds. All right. Let's see. Daggett, you're back and forward. Aurinial, are you in open still?
Yes.
Floy, are you in defensive still?
Yeah.
Gilly is remaining in ranged, I am assuming. Let's go ahead and reassign some tokens now. So let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the enemy left. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of you guys left. So you're still able to assign your own targets. So there is Lottie, who currently has no target. There is one of these other hillfolk to the north, currently has no target. There are 2 hillfolk that just killed one of the dwarves to the south by the river that has no target. Is that Flora? Are you assigning yourself to one of them?
Yeah, I'm going to swing over and pick up one of those.
All right.
I will also swing because the hill folk next to me, there's 2 dwarves, so I can leave a dwarf there and take a dwarf with me. So I can come down and take a dwarf. I can't move the dwarf, but there's a dwarf with me.
You guys, so
we need somebody on.
You guys have to go through available targets before you start putting second targets on. So there are 2 targets right now that have no one on it. Now we can just move these dwarves over. Like a Losseth can go over and take this one, and one of the dwarves can go take. We can do that, but that's how it's gonna roll. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so cool. We're all set then.
Then there's another hill folk on the rock that needs a dwarf or something.
Nope, they have one. Ashley sent her archer friend.
Yeah,
okay, that one. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So we're set with our targets. So let's go to forward stance, and Daggett, you're up. You just saw this one take out a Losseth. What do you want to do?
I'm going feral mode again. Taking an audience die again.
Yeah.
Okay. Down to 5.
I need to take him down in one hit. Which I could possibly do here. Let's see this count. That is a great success. That's going to be 16 endurance with the heavy blow. How much did I need?
Right on the dot. 16. You got
Hey.
it. 16
Yes.
endurance. Describe how you take her out.
I make a feint with my Matic that I'm going to swing for the leg, like she might have seen me do to Lottie. And as she goes to parry, I just drop the Matic and I just bite right into her neck. And I just rip out, and there's just blood all over my beard.
Oh, God.
Like I said, feral mode.
That is absolutely gross. Your brother would be proud. I don't know if eating people requires some sort of test for something. All right.
Not eating. I'm spitting it out. I'll spit it out.
Fair enough. Okay. Next up, Aurinial. You're in open stance. You're up.
All right. So I have relocated kind of into the stream a little bit. The stream is starting to run a bit with red. So I have got my 3 for my sword. I'm taking an audience, and I've got 1 for my dwarf companion here. No additional successes yet again. So it's 3 damage. And yeah, lots of dice.
Okay.
No 6s, 3 damage.
3 damage. Let me double check. She is okay. Yeah, she's still pretty good. Sorry, I had to get my music restarted. It wasn't working for me. All right, we're good there. Okay, so that is your turn. She's still standing. We go over to Floy, protective stance or defensive stance. Excuse me. You got a new target. Swing away, bud.
Yeah, I'm in a defensive mode, which is not something I'm used to. So
Coward.
I'm actually watching
Coward.
how my opponent swings here.
Been throwing that word out a lot tonight, Jeff.
I have been.
We're going to rebel soon.
Coward. Chicken.
And in this new mode, I got a great success.
Hey.
Okay.
Applies a heavy blow for 14.
14 is not enough. You needed 16, just like the one with Daggett, but you do get her down to 2. So she's going to get a swing off. All right. Nice. And Gilly, you're up. What do you want to do?
I am gonna shoot this guy again.
Go
The
for it.
one on the rock.
Gotcha. Your friend has scrambled down and has taken them on. Losses have been faced on both sides. It's still pretty even, I'll be honest. I'm looking at all the dead tokens I have hidden. It's pretty close. You guys have lost 4, they've lost 5.
But there's also Lottie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna spend I got an extraordinary success. I'm gonna spend 1 to bump my 9 to a 10 to roll for a wound, please.
Gotcha. I will burn a hate to get or a resolve, I should say, to get an extra d6. These have 3, so it's 4 total plus my d12. That is 12. That is 22.
Okay, yeah, it needed a 16, so no wound, but they do take 8 damage.
Okay. Chipping away. They are still up, but they are hurting big time. They have a couple arrows sticking out of them, a couple wounds from their fight with the dwarves on this western side, maybe even a dagger wound stray from one of the Loseth that are kind of fighting shoulder to shoulder with you all. But that is the end of your guys' turn, and it is theirs now. I'm going to go right to left, start with Floy. You see her, she's kind of falling down, blood coming down from her face. It's the classic South Park meme. I knew no Bill, like just kind of ready to go. And she's going to lunge at you. She's got the axe and she's going to swing. You are in protective stance. I will burn. I'm going to trigger Fierce Folk. So you're in protective, huh? So that puts me back up to 3, but I do get it at favored because of Fierce Folk. Okay, so that's a 13, 17, 21. It's a hit. No, nothing special. No, I didn't get any 6s or anything, so it's just a flat 5 damage.
Okay, I will be weary again.
Okay. Gotta throw more treasure around. Okay, we'll move over to Aurinial. I'll do the same combo I just did. You are an open stance, though, correct?
Correct.
All right, so that's...
And I've got somebody with me, if that matters.
I will, in fact, since they're outnumbered, I'll take a die away. Thank you for that. So you're an open stance, it would be 3. My Fierce Oak would give me 4. Outnumbered, I'll take them down to 3 again. So, okay. So there. Wait a second. 3, up to 4, down back to 3. Okay, so I have too many. All right. Fixed. All right, got an 8, 11, 14, 18. No special, no extra successes. It's going to be 5 points of damage flat.
Okay.
Okay, as they're swinging away. Daggett, you took yours out, so they don't actually get to swing at you. And
Best defense is a good offense.
it's true. However, Lottie's got 2 free swings on this poor dwarf. These are dwarves you know,
Oh, this is a fresh one.
Yeah, I do feel bad that we just sent a dwarf over there.
It's very, I mean, honestly, it's super heroic of you guys. Like, it's
No,
like,
not at all.
that's totally what Aragorn would have
No.
done. Like, I just think about it. And, like, Aragorn would have been like, hey, you random extra, you go fight that guy.
It's a numbers game, Jeff. We got to take out their numbers first.
Well, that's a Sauron on the attack, and that's a 6 on the die. That's whole mess load of damage on the first attack. And then on the second attack, that's another Sauron, actually. Back-to-back Sauries. So, yeah, they're dead. That's 2 brutal hits. Each of those hits would have been the equivalent of...
That just justifies the action, though. I don't want to take those Saurons.
That would have been the
We'd lose the fight.
equivalent of 23 points of damage between those 2 hits. So another dwarf has fallen.
Daggett is the glue keeping all of this together.
And she is...
Well, I'm saying if one of us goes down, then we're going to lose a lot of damage, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, of course.
Okay, let's go around the horn and do the usual thing, see who's left. Okay, good for you guys. Good for you guys. Good for you guys. That's 3 in a row. Look at that. And then there's 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good for me. And good for me again. So by the river is good for me. Everything else is good for you guys. Okay. New round. We have to, let's figure out stances and let's figure out who's getting assigned where. Now, remember, Lottie has not, no one has been put on Lottie. So before anyone goes onto a second target, someone has to pick her up.
I was going to ask, could the Losoth go to Lottie while I take the other guy? Is that in the rules or no?
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, sure.
I mean...
You can mechanically do that.
Heroically, mechanically do that.
Aurinial will go over to Lottie.
Okay. Aurinial, you, like the brave ranger that you are,
I am bold.
you get up face to face with Lottie. She's taken out these dwarves. You step up. All right. Stance wise, I think all the other targets look good. Stance wise, is anybody making any changes? Daggett still forward. Aurinial, are you going up to her in open stance? There's bold and there's reckless.
I'm leaving it in open.
Okay, open it is. Floyd, defensive still? Coward?
Yeah.
Okay, and Gilly, ranged.
Ranged.
Okay. All right.
You're torturing him.
I know I am. I'm terrible. Daggett, you're up first. You're outnumbering this guy. What do you want to do?
How many audience dice do we have?
4.
Yeah, totally use them on the mooks. The mobs.
I get what you're saying, but if we take out the mooks, then we can all overpower Lottie. So that's the strategy here. I feel like it's a winning strategy, so I'm going to use an audience die.
As they bury Aurinial, he's going to explain what his strategy was.
Really excited.
And I'm also using the die from the extra Losseth. So that's a lot of dice throwing.
There's a rude surprise coming for Daggett here. I can't wait.
Is it?
You'll see.
That will be, it's not going to be piercing, but I'll be able to pull off 24 endurance.
Okay. All right. 24 endurance. Describe a 24 endurance will take them out. In fact, they have 20 endurance, so they are out of the fight. I don't know if they're. I would say the blow probably doesn't kill them because they do actually have 2 might, but it's enough to essentially take them out. So how do you disable this person?
Yeah. So I took out the one. I've still got blood dripping down my beard. I'm hefting my axe up again, my mattock, and I'm really just running past this guy and swinging it as I'm running past, just like crippling his leg. And I'm moving on to the other hill folk past that one.
Okay.
Just trying to do a big arc and take them all out.
The mattock, you can see like it kind of comes out of his ribs and he falls. And you assume at the very least he's out of the fight. I'm just going to move him up and out because he's technically not dead. I'm gonna say in this case, that's how I'm gonna rule it. Okay, and so then you're gonna keep moving. Aurenial, Lottie's right up in your biz. What do you want to do? She sees you step up. She looks at you. She's just a touch taller than you. She's swinging this huge hafted axe around. You hear the whisper swirling. What would you like to do?
I'm swinging my sword. Just me, because this seems like a bad idea and very unheroic to just keep sending all of these other people. So I've got my 3 for my sword. I'm gonna.
We have fellowship if you want to spend for favor.
1 from the audience. I will. That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, there was something
you can't. I don't think you can do it. That was a Balin thing. I think
Okay.
that's how.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a Balin
and it
thing.
does say in the rules somewhere that you can't spend hope in combat.
I don't think you can use. Oh my god, this is.
You can't use your distinctive features in combat if that's
for
what
combat
Yeah.
combat proficiency
Okay.
rolls. Yeah, you can use them. You can use them for skill. They're for skill rolls, not necessarily
Yeah.
combat proficiency.
Yeah.
But you can just straight up spend a hope for an extra dice, just cause, at any time.
to be inspired. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know if we've done that before. Where are you coming up with that?
Yeah, I haven't.
Okay, just desperately trying to see.
I'm not saying you're wrong. We've never done it before, so it's not in my brain.
Yeah.
So if you know that to be a fact, fine. If you're not sure, let's not go with it since we've never done that before.
All right.
Someone wants to quickly look it up, go for it. But yeah.
Yeah, because it might be somewhere because it says hope can be spent to gain dice in any roll made by a player hero.
Okay.
But it might be somewhere else that it says not for combat, so I'll leave it alone. So I've got 3, and then I've got 1 from the audience, and that's the most that I can do. So we'll see.
And remember, whatever your target is, add 3 to it because of her parry rating.
That is finally I got a Gandalf. Nothing extra though.
Okay.
So
Still gonna be. It'll be a piercing since it's Gandalf and you're using a sword.
So it's 12, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
It's a hit.
24.
You rolled a Gandalf. It was a hit.
Okay.
All you had to do was worry about whether there were any extra successes at that point.
There wasn't.
I'm going to roll her protection. It's 11, 14, 17, 19. What's the injury rating?
16.
Okay, so no wound, but how much damage does she take? Just look at the rating of the weapon. You didn't get any bonus, so it's just the rating of the weapon.
3.
Okay, 3 points of damage. All right. All set. So yeah, you get a little cut on her. Much like Drago, she has a little bit of a nick right here up on her face, and she's bleeding from it. She grabs it, licks it, and grins.
As far as I can tell, you can just spend a hope in combat for the extra die.
Okay.
It says anytime you roll dice, it doesn't say combat or not.
Okay. So, but we have covered the whole distinctive feature thing, though. Like, we have covered that.
The distinctive feature doesn't actually use a hope, though.
No, if you
use a hope.
So
wait a second. Yes, it does. You burn
Yeah.
a hope You burn a
I
hope.
don't think you do for the
I think
distinctive
it's
feature.
I think it's one of those things where it's somewhere else in the book. So I think and that's why I didn't take it, because like things are in different places in the book. So if we're looking at one particular place in the book, that might not be where it is.
That's what happens. This is what happens when we play too many games.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's page 67 for the distinctive features, and you're considered inspired when you invoke a distinctive feature. Sorry, this isn't actually combat related, so we can go over it later.
Okay. Anyway,
We'll look at it later.
anyway, your turn, Floy.
I'll see if I can finish her off here. Just another swing.
Thank you for those extras.
Not an extraordinary success. But I know she's on her last legs, so I'll just do
Yeah, she is.
one hit
Yeah, that'll be
for 7
enough.
damage.
That's plenty. Go ahead and describe it.
Describing it, I'm in a turtle stance here, watching her blows. And she swings on my axe. It ricochets off and it bounces her weapon back into her, which takes her out.
Very nice.
Okay.
Nicely described.
Page 20, hope bonus. A player hero about to make a die roll can spend 1 hope to gain 1 die. Is that what you're looking at, Steven?
I'm here now. Page 21 is where it talks about inspired as well. So using a distinctive feature does not require a hope, but you do have to spend the hope to get the bonus die. The distinctive feature just means you're inspired, which means you get 2 dice instead of 1 for the hope.
Okay. All right.
But again, that's out of combat anyways. It's just skills. So you can always spend a hope to get 1 bonus die no matter what.
Okay.
When you're inspired, that hope becomes 2 dice instead of 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're still spending at least 1.
You are still spending it.
Okay.
And then the distinctive
Which is-
feature.
so then we're
Which is
fine.
what we
that
said.
was the issue.
But
yeah.
we did it backwards, but we still got to the same place, right?
Yes,
Like you have to
we're
spend
there.
hope
Yeah.
to get the die.
What
Okay.
threw me off is because you actually don't spend the hope for the distinctive feature, but you have to spend it for the dice anyway. So you can be inspired and not get any bonus
Okay.
dice,
Mhm.
which is
Gotcha.
what threw me off.
Okay.
Got it.
So we were all wrong and all right at the
But
same
right.
time.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's so-
We all win.
Okay.
We both win.
All right. So the one that Floyd just attacked is floating down the stream. She has been taken out. Then we'll go to Gilly. Gilly, you're up.
Okay. Is this one still up since my guy was positive last round when he fought her and I had done so much damage before?
Which one?
The one on the rock.
I only take stuff off if they've taken damage. Everything you see, they're still up. So he's still up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I was just checking because he had a positive round. My guy was positive.
That's not how I'm treating that. Like,
Got it. Okay, I understand.
I'm not doing that. We're not playing a tactical
No,
miniature game.
you're good. Then I'm gonna attack him. No, I'm gonna attack Lottie.
And her parry rating will go to you too as well. So
Yep.
Okay.
Does she get a bonus dice because perennials on Lottie?
No, because she's not in engaged range. That's only
It's
for
only
close
melee.
combat. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, like interfering with them when you're all up in their business.
All right, Jeff, roll for a wound, please. I got an extraordinary success.
You know, when you lie about your
did.
rolls, you have to every now and then fail a roll.
Jeff,
It's
I'm
easy to
rolling.
get over a 10 when you're rolling a d20.
I'm not rolling a d20.
Let's see. 9, 15, 20, 24 my protection roll.
Oh yeah, that passes. I have a 16.
Okay, what's the damage?
8.
All right, she is still kicking. Getting angry, though. And she's about to take it out on old Aurinial. Why don't we just start there, right? Let's just start right there. All right, Lottie. Whoa, God, she's furious. All right, well, let's use her Fierce Folk ability, obviously. Let's tap into that. You in open stance?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. First attack.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, I'm just getting all these dice that I'm about to use.
Yeah. I
If you knock back on the first attack, she can't do the second attack on you. Just throwing that out there.
12, 18, 17, 21.
Yes, that hits.
Okay. Going to have 2 heavy blows on this. So for a grand total of 20 points of damage.
Holy crap.
That's what she did to me. That's why I left.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a knockback.
Okay. I'm going to say that there is a Lossith right here, very easily within her step, and she's going to take a step. Then is if you're gonna dive away like a coward, just like Aragorn would have. Such a dick. It's such a dick. And she's going to swing at this Lossith. You know who this Lossith is, by the way?
Is this Helvy?
This is Helvy.
Oh.
I don't learn their names totally.
You did learn
don't learn their names.
So if she swings and she hits, let's see. Well, on the bright side, I did roll a 1 on her d12. However, I rolled 3 d6s on the 6s of the 4 6s that I used, or the 4 d6s I used. So 6, 12, 18 plus 2 is 21 with the 1 on the... And so Helvy, your connection to the Lossith people, the one whose name you know, who you went to sleep with until she ran away because you guys weren't helping her. You see Daggett as you're running up next to her, as the axe whirls around quicker before Lottie even whirls around. And as Helvy's face looks up at you as you take out this other one, a smile begins to show as she's almost thankful. And then suddenly, as the axe buries into her back, and she falls. Okay. Let's see. You guys are off. All right. So in terms of like the whole 2v thingies, West Side's even. Wow, that's a double. It's evens. Another evens. It's 2 12s. 2 9s, 2 12s. In the river, you guys are doing well in the river. Along the river, like on the bank of the river, I'm doing well. So in the river is good for you. On the bank is good for me. And then off to the west underneath the ridge is essentially stalemates. And then this guy is effectively out of the fight. Okay, new round. Stance changes, target changes. Let's do a count up. So you guys are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you guys still outnumber. So you can still do your targets. Lottie is not. There's no one on Lottie right now. Everyone else has a target.
How injured is Lottie? Is she looking bad? Or
she's taking some wounds. You can see a couple arrows sticking out of her. She's bleeding from certain places. She ain't looking good.
All right, Irenial, I'll step up.
Probably stronger than you, though.
Yeah, I know. I know that, Jeff.
So with knockback, would I still be able to be of assistance? Or no, because I have to spend my whole turn getting up so that I can do like a...
I think you can do your secondary action, right? That's what we said. You can do your secondary action. You just
your
lose.
Main action is to move forward, and then your secondary is like dropping something,
right.
Or if you have a special ability that gives you a second action.
Right.
And so then I wouldn't be able to give you any assistance in like a double up bonus because I'm spending
probably
my main
not
action moving.
Because I'm forward. If I went after you, then we could, which actually would make sense. So I'll go open, and then you can go first, so that we'll both be in combat with her.
I'm not going forward.
Oh, if you don't want to engage with her, then it doesn't matter.
I was going to engage, but not in forward. Like,
no, that's what I meant. If you engage with her on your turn, and then I'll still be able to get the bonus when I attack her, without her getting a bonus on me.
Okay.
You all set? You figured out what you're doing?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Is it locked in? You got to figure it out. Open.
Yeah, I'm in open.
Okay, Floy, who are you getting on? Who you're targeting?
Can we 3-way this if everyone's occupied?
So I think it's you kind of rotate. I can't remember if you just rotate around. Like everyone needs to be targeted, and then once everyone's targeted, the next people can kind of just pick. So like you can pick, but I think if there's 2 people on her, I don't know. That's a good question. I can't remember. Let me look it up. Always got to ask these questions.
It's a big combat.
Yeah, I know. It's a big combat. Let's see. So, if there's more heroes than enemies, you get to choose unengaged adversary to face from eligible targets. If there are not enough free enemies to engage, heroes in close combat left without an adversary must engage an enemy already engaged by another player. It doesn't say... Yeah, I mean, it doesn't say you can't 3v1. It just says engage by another player. So if you wanted to go up on Lottie, you could.
I'll do that.
Okay. There we go. That's the Floy I remember. All right, so you're on up there, charging in.
1 round, he will be how we remember him.
Okay.
She only has 2 attacks, so there will be one of us standing at the end of this turn.
And then everybody else looks good. Okay, I think we're good. So open stances, Aurenial, Daggett. What's going on?
Aurenial's going first.
You're recovering from knockback.
Yes. I am recovering from the
Defend companion task. If I recall correctly, that is a combat task, which means it should be your main action, which she doesn't have, Zoro, because she's stumbling back up. So, right, Melissa? Am I right on that?
Yeah, like I'm only being there to be a body for the bonus. I'm not doing
That's
the
not
action.
But what I'm saying is like the protect companion is a combat task
yes,
in a
it is.
defensive stance, which she can't take this round because she's given it up from having to get knocked back on the previous round. Okay. Daggett, what are you doing?
Okay. Do I only get 1 die because we're flanking, or do I get 2 because there are 2 people? Is it a die per person or just 1 die?
I think it's just 1
okay.
because you're
that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So that is my normal 3, 1 for a companion, and I will take an audience die if we have some left. I think we got some more, right?
Yes, we did. We are up to 11. So you could
to
also
11.
take
Should I make it
advantage
favored?
if you want. If you want to take it favored, you can.
Yeah, I'll take a favored because we got to put her down.
5. Okay.
Thank you. Ooh, all right. So that is a piercing, but only a single success. No 6s. Damn it.
Well, is it a success? It's like it's a hit.
I rolled a 10, but it is a success.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I rolled a 10 on the D12 and then plenty of other dice, but no 6s.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's just standard protection.
Yeah, injury 20.
I'm going to burn some hate to get extra die on my protection roll since you have a pain in the ass weapon. Wait, does my fierce folk do anything against protections? Let me double check. Nope, that's just for attacks. All right, so I'm just going to burn hate. 4 added dice. Okay. All right, I think we look pretty good there. It's 14, 18, 22, 24. So no injury. So, but what's your damage?
Just the 8 damage then.
Well, that's very nice, as that's going to... You're going to get an injury anyway, you son of a bitch. All right, so...
How did that happen?
That's going to...
Running out of endurance.
Reduce her endurance, yeah. I'm going to do the thing, though, where she's going to take a wound instead of basically being dead and reset her endurance. Okay. So she is still up, but she is weakened. She's down to one might, which I will also tell you, by the way, means she only has 1 attack now. Okay, so the coward who let all those other people die finally did a little damage. Okay, Floy, you're up.
Yeah, I'm still in defensive mode here, so I will focus my efforts into parrying whatever attacks towards Daggett that he throws.
Okay, so you're gonna
combat protection.
Yeah. Okay, you are gonna protect him. Okay, very nice. Very nice. And then
so I'll make a battle roll.
Yeah, make your battle roll, and then Gilly, you're gonna be up next.
I'm gonna apply a hope to it, or spend 1 hope for an extra dice.
Okay.
I got a great success.
Okay.
So your next hit will just be 1 less, and then an extra, so 2 less d6.
On anybody or on Daggett specifically?
Next attack aimed at protect player hero. So yeah.
If it goes to Daggett.
Yeah. I will tell you that she just took a wound basically from Daggett, so I think she will probably turn her ire to Daggett this round.
So 2 fewer die on that roll.
Okay, Gilly,
Thanks,
you're
Floy.
up.
Still attacking her.
Okay.
And 7,
Trying to see.
18. I need a 19 to hit her, so I don't hit.
Okay. That's a miss. Too many people around her. Arrow goes flying off. Hits Daggett in the eye. He falls.
I told you to lead the other way. Your left. Your left.
Okay. Let's do this dramatic. Let's start with the dwarves along the coast, as they are in some trouble. If either one of them loses this round, that's another dwarf. So first one further off to the east, they're dead.
Oh no.
Next one also. Both of those dwarves are now gone.
Oh no.
I'm rolling so streaky. It's crazy. As 2 dwarves fall into the water, these 2 are now free in the river itself. And the river is going well for you as she will fall. And the dwarf in the river does manage to take out the other. Okay, so good news, good news. The other 2 are tied on the west. So that one is in favor of me, the one to the north. One to the south on the rock is in favor of you guys. Let me check his health here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and remove a might from him. All right. Waiting for the crescendo of the music as we come to Lottie, who will turn with her axe. And she will go after old Daggett. Okay.
Fist up.
So, Floy, I got to be honest with you. I really wasn't listening to anything you were saying as I was reading my abilities. So what's going to happen here? You're in, see, Daggett,
Yes.
you're in open, but Floy...
I protected him with the defensive combat, so I rolled a great success, which will reduce your attack with 2d6.
So I lose 2d6s on it. All right. I'm going to use my Fierce Folk ability, which would normally put me up a die. So I'm not going to get that bonus, and I'm going to get 1 less, but I am going to be able to still roll this at advantage, or at favored. Oh boy. Come on. Sorry. I did not roll sorry. I did roll a 9. However, 9 plus 5 plus 2 is 16.
Parry is 15.
Okay. Holy crap. It still gets through. Okay, buddy. Now, no extra successes. It was a 9. I don't think this is... Yeah, there's nothing on it. So it's just going to be 6 points of damage. So nothing special to it, but just a flat 6.
I'm not going to knock back that. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Look at him. Certainly not big tough man now. All right, next round.
I am weary now if it makes you feel better.
It does a little bit. Okay, guys. We've now got 2 open targets to the south. One of them, obviously, the dwarf can take one of those, but there is still a second one. So one of you is going to have to take that one on.
We're all weary. Floy is wounded. Does anyone want to take him, or should I? I'm fine going if either of you don't want to.
Of course you are.
I can take a relatively decent size hit from Lottie.
Okay. So I'll go down. Unless you want to, Floy. So you don't get a hit from Lottie. Because you are wounded. If you took a hit from Lottie that wounds you, that'd be it for
down. Well, you're going to he wouldn't be outright dead. As long as you guys win the fight, you'd have a chance to help him.
He'd be going down.
Yeah.
What do you think, Floy? Do you want to or no?
Go all out and have a Renial tank it so we can just slam her here.
Okay. So I'll go to the Hillfolk then.
No, I meant Renial to the Hillfolk because we're the damage dealers.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I mean,
Renial, are you okay going to the Hillfolk, or do you want to stay on Lottie?
That's fine.
Okay. Whoever it is, just go ahead and move your token. Okay. So stance changes. Anyone doing any stance changes?
Are we going all out?
Yeah.
All right, we're going forward.
Opening up.
Yes.
I feel like I'm going to kill a dwarf this round. Okay, Floy.
She can only hit one of us.
Go for it. She's got a lot of hate. Or resolve or whatever it's called on here.
All right, I'm spending everything I can here. Forward stance.
Use an audience die.
Spending a hope.
Yeah,
We get the extra for 2 people on her.
And an extra, we've got 5 left.
Is there a cap to this? Is there a cap to bonus die?
No.
Well, that there's one.
What do you mean, like from getting them from the
It's
audience?
Like totals, no, like totals.
Oh no! In the game, no.
Okay, that'll give me total of 7 bonus die on this roll.
Gosh.
Okay, man.
Yes.
Using audience.
With audience or without?
Yes, using audience.
With, okay. All
Plus-
right, done 4.
Plus 17 to parry.
I just need a bunch of 6s here.
Sneak that one in. You do. If you do, you'll take her out.
Hit no 6s.
Oh my gosh. Really?
All those.
That's how I've been rolling. It's so frustrating.
I
What
know,
if-
right?
It's just a 7. A little 7 hit.
Okay, and you
7's
did.
better than mine.
You did hit.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I'm just kidding.
It was 76s. I should certainly hope so.
How much damage?
It's just 7 because I got 1
7?
success.
Did you flicker in the ear? Like, come on, buddy. All right. Daggett, can you do?
All right. Sorry, my wife got home.
Oh no.
Very happy about
The
it.
dog's going crazy.
Sorry. I am doing the forward, so I've got 4. I'm gonna take an audience die. And I will spend the hope too, because we gotta do it. There we go. I am weary, so I've got to ignore 3 of those dice. So that is only a 25 to hit.
Okay.
I needed a 16,
Okay.
and that's 2 6s
Okay.
on top of that. So that will be 24 endurance.
She is still up, my friend.
Dang it.
Still up.
We
Okay.
still have Gilly, maybe.
Go ahead, Gilly. And it is. No, actually, no. I'm sorry. Irinial, you're
Yeah,
next.
I'm open.
Sorry.
Just in terms of taking her out, maybe. All right, so I've got. I'll take an audience. Gives us 2 left from the audience. I need to do math. 4, 8, and 6, and 2. Yep, no extra successes, 3 damage.
What did you? It's +2 to parry against this guy. Does that affect anything?
All right, let me actually work the math out. So it's 8 plus 8 is 16.
Okay. So what's your strength? Is your strength target number?
13.
So it would be a 15. So 16 still good. Yeah. Okay. So what's the damage?
3.
3. Okay. Shipping away.
That's why Floy was like, why don't you go over there?
Okay.
When you're 3 damage.
Yeah.
Sword.
It's okay. I only did 7.
Gilly, it is your turn.
All right, I am going to attack Lottie, and I'm going to spend a hope to get an extra die.
How great would it be if Gilly got the kill?
11.
That's what I was hoping. I think she can do 4 if she doesn't roll anything extra.
Let's see. So I have a 10 on my 12th die. Oh my god, I got
It's piercing,
4
right?
1s and a 6.
It's 20 total. Piercing.
20. Okay, so I do hit her.
What's the damage? What's the damage?
Well, because so I have a 10, so she could roll for an injury, and then I got an extra 6.
Give me the damage first.
It would be 8.
Okay, that's why, because it doesn't matter. She had 4 endurance left. 8 is enough. Gilly, describe your shot.
So, oh god, I didn't think I would do this. So Lottie has her axe up above her head, and she's doing like the twirling thing, and she's got this like just kind of manic smile on her face, and she's not paying any attention to the arrows that are kind of going around on the battlefield. And as she's sitting there, and perhaps she's about to yell something as she goes to strike again, and Gilly gets her right in the jugular, and it just goes in one side, pokes out the other, and just kind of bleeds out.
She falls to the ground. There's this sudden shriek that none of you can see the source of. You just hear kind of just something happen. All of the hill folk like look over and they see Lottie fall. You see that black, long-hafted axe clumped to the ground. The grass that it lands on suddenly singes. You watch, all of you, as some sort of strange green-blue, colorful ether begins to waft up from it. And standing between Daggett and Floy, not where Lottie stood, but where the axe fell, you see this discolored spirit, undead wraith with the very faintest glimmer of light as it weaves sort of in and out and flickers between this world and the unseen. And we will pick up with that next time as we are very deep into this
health
episode.
Oh. Gilly.
Second stage unlocked.
Gilly with the killing blow. And she's far enough away that she doesn't have to deal with the repercussions of that right away.
You guys.
Oh, the summoning blow.
Jeez.
Right?
You guys.
Gilly got 3-4 kills?
Yeah.
I just want to point out so that there's no hard feelings next week. You guys got 4 Losseth killed and 4 dwarves killed.
Yep.
You're going to, so far, there's 8 of your party has died. Only 2, 3 are left.
Make that 7 dwarves next time.
Okay. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I'm curious.
I did the best I could, Jeff.
No, you didn't. You were hiding and running around and letting them all die.
I was dealing damage left and right.
No. It's a tough fight. There's no doubt about
Yeah.
it. Extremely tough fight. But you have taken out Lottie. There's no trick. You have taken her down.
And now it's just the spirit that possessed her that we have to worry about.
There is just, perhaps something else that you now have to contend with in her place. Okay, let's go ahead and end it there. That was a very long session. That was a very big fight, and it's still sort of going, but we'll see how that plays out when we get back next week. Let's do some closing plugs, and let's get the hell out of here. What do we have next going on? We have Monday, right? Supposedly, I hear a rumor that we might be starting Horror on the Orient Express on Monday for Call of Cthulhu. Very lengthy campaign. So come hang out. Come watch that if it happens. Then let's see. Our next game after that would be next Friday, where the finale of our Hunter of the Reckoning Chronicle, or at least season 1 of the Chronicle, Your City Lies in Dust. We're going to be playing that. One Ring, obviously, a week from today. And then, Steven, want to give a little plug for your game that's coming up soon?
Yeah. February 7th, right here on Lollygaggers, we'll be playing for Jeff's in it, Melissa's in it. We got a couple other people. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be dark fantasy. If you enjoy One Ring, come check it out. It's another free league game, and it's going to be kind of like low magic-ish, similar vibes. And we're giving away a set of dice.
Nice.
For all those treasure hunters out there, we're giving away a set of gold-painted Norse.
Yes. And for those of you who didn't catch what game that was, because Steven's internet totally crapped out right when he said the name of the game.
Did it really? I'm sorry.
Name of the game is Forbidden Lands, another One Ring, wonderful game. So you can check that out. And also last night we just started up a Blade Runner campaign as well. We'll probably drop that on YouTube next week, probably on Mondays. If you want to check that VOD out, if you haven't seen it already. Thank you for those of you who hung out tonight. We really, really appreciate it. Especially those of you who hung out the whole time, almost 4 hours. This is insane. This is way too long. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? What's wrong with me?
Saved our butts with bits.
And definitely did, as that was a brutal fight. And we're going to go ahead and raid some folks. So follow the raid. Follow those people that we're sending you to. Watch what they're playing. Follow us when you get the chance if you haven't already. Have a great rest of your weekend. That's it. Bye-bye.
Bye.